How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. See, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, "Come on, come."
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big, gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big, gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what? You wanted orange? An orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. We stop at a gas station.
When you get instead of just like trying to slap something out like the Star Wars experience and crap, but when you have
don't.
I'm sorry, it's true though. It's like
I just got back from. Oh, I just died.
I just watched that. It was hilarious.
How do I get back up there?
You just walked right off the cliff. It was hilarious.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, that's funny. I was just like, do, and I was like over here, and I was like, woo. Oh, see, you thought I was gonna do it.
And he did it. All right.
Oh,
I missed it.
Oh dear. I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Go me. It's a culture in decline.
Must everything be boring and sad?
Fight!
You're a pushy little bastard, ain't you? But I like that. I like that.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith 121. And boy, howdy, have we got some fun tonight. Oh, been looking forward to this one for sure, especially with the news that dropped this week. But before we get to any of that, I am your host, The Fractured Filter, and with me is, as always, my co-host, my friend in all this madness, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
This is just the nostalgia. I was just reminiscing from a bygone era when we first started this show. So many clips just brought me back to this.
And they were altered this time to be proper. I finally got your face on Jay Sherman doing the "It Stinks." I put my Kyle Katarn over Stan for being the cynical asshole. Since I now know how to do all this stuff, I can just have some fun with it. I figured, who else to be on the boring and sad better than you? So
you sir have outdone yourself this time. That was a fantastic intro, and I'm not even mad that you exposed me the second time.
You brought it up. You put it up last week. I'm like, oh, I have to find those clips
Well,
again.
what's so funny about the second, if anybody ever watched that episode of Sunday Night Shenanigans,
Number 12.
Wednesday morning.
Number 12 is the one that happened, and I had to find that one because that one I didn't have individually clipped out easily.
I had no intention of actually falling off, and that's what I think made it so hilarious.
Part. You were just trying to re-emulate, be like, aha!
Potentially
backed right off into the pit.
And this is why I have such a hard time with just computer PC gamers, because I was on my Razer, using my Razer mouse and my keyboard, and just when she just there it goes, just fell off, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever because I wasn't intentionally doing it. And then just to just to see Chiefs are like, I just watched that. Like
no, the second time he's like, wait, I just missed. He's like, oh, I missed.
No, yeah, no. The first time he's like,
the first time he's like, I just watched that happen.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I didn't die the first time. Like I got stuck in on a ledge or something.
That's right. You kind of got into a little nook.
I was even mad the second time because I was just trying to, I wasn't planning on. I was just trying to reenact it, and then there I died. So what an intro! You can't top that, man. What a joyous occasion today is. I don't, we were talking before the show, and I don't want to ruin anything, but I think it's fitting that I'm Malgus, and we have all seen the trailer going into Knights of the Old Republic, where his speech is just so fitting. How we've waited in the shadows, and finally we have returned.
Oh boy. Yeah, like I said, we've got some fun. We've got some fun for sure. Let me hit the chat just really quick, and then we will immediately dive right, because I'm itching to use this, because I want to start talking about this stuff. It's like I said, it's been a heck of a week. Some news I certainly was not anticipating, but boy howdy, they gave me a good surprise. Okay, so I'm also just kind of grabbing what I need for it. Yeah, visit site. Okay. Chat. Meteor Advocate Timon first in the chat, saying, hey, you Fractured Filter and Jay Hitman. Hello, sir. Static was saying, late and Hitman. We were just 2 minutes off, I was preparing this one clip that I've got. So it was kind of taking me just that extra moment, and we were debating a couple of things really quick. But yeah, we were a little late. Fear FEMA, hello, saying afternoon all. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Nerdy Neo, how are you, sir? Saying howdy, Filter, Hitman, Timon, Static, FEMA. He's just nailing it all across the board. Hello, Star Wars Scran, saying hey, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button. Please smash that like button. Share out the stream. Let people know we're live. All that loveliness going on. Otherwise, now we just got Star Wars Scran says, does anyone know when Acolyte Season 2 comes? I think we've got some news on that. We've got some stuff. There's a possibility some High Republic, yes. Static saying, do we think this happened so suddenly just to shut up Headland? That is a good question, good sir. Good question. Some stuff we've all talked about. So, yes, let me, before we jump into it, I'm just going to play my one last clip as we go into this, because this was basically my feelings when I saw the news.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I was so joyous because, it happened. Like I said, I was not expecting this. It happened. First I grabbed this from was Deadline. The Acolyte canceled. No season 2 for Disney Plus's Star Wars series. Oh no, it happened. It happened. This, like I said, I was not expecting this because as anybody that followed the events of this bullshit, saw what was going on, saw what was injected into this show, the pause was real in this one. And all of the marketing to Headland, you had Amanda Stenberg saying all the stuff for the whole alphabet representation and all that bullshit. Honest to God, like this was a series I did not think they would cancel just because of who was behind it, who was pushing it, and everything. And to Static's point, yes, Headland would not shut the fuck up about it. She was certainly doing everything she could to push it. But oh my, this has been something else. Something else, because not only do we have this, but we have another article discussing, further why, I believe, because I think this might just touch on some of it. And then there's just been some other shenanigans going on with this stuff. I don't know if you've caught any of it. Hitman.
Dude, it's.
But it's been wild already.
But you bring up, like, before we get to the article, you bring up a really good point, because it's like she was the showrunner. She was and it just doesn't. The reason why I'm blown away is because it's like this doesn't fit their agenda, right? Because the show embodies everything that they want to push.
Right. Yeah, the lesbian witches and all this sort of shit.
And they've never cared. I mean, we've established their whole goal is to just destroy everything that Lucas created. And so like I don't get it. I don't like I'm joyous, but it's like, is it like a false joy? Because it doesn't make sense.
What are they waiting to spring on us next sort of thing?
Right.
I
What's behind it?
Because like it is, yes, we still have Skeleton Crew. They've announced they have Mandalorian and Grogu. So we do have other things that are coming in the pipeline. It is funny that this is like the first real project. This isn't the first. This isn't the first, because we've had some of those other movies that were just confirmed, canceled, killed, or whatever. But like for their series, for sure, like they've been kind of light on the Kenobi show. Andor, I don't know. I think it's still kind of in a weird limbo state, but the only one that they really are pushing forward at this point is still Mando. Not like I said, the others haven't quite gotten that confirmed axing. Not all of them.
This is why I'm so concerned about this, and this is why I want to know what's behind the curtains, because this show literally embodies everything they want to push. Your DEI, your ESG, like everything. We got the lesbian witch sisters. We got they have outdone themselves. Like, I never thought that they could have broken as much lore as they did. That's why we've talked about it, right? You were always on Kenobi's side. I took my stance on this show. Like they should be salivating over this show. And the fact that Disney is a sex, it is a feminist. They do push feminism, and again, not a subjective comment. Kathleen Kennedy has said it herself with comments like "Force is female." So that they are all about empowering women, because they never thought that Lucas ever had any female Star Wars characters, right?
I know, isn't that funny?
And Leslie Headland fits the bill. You won't find anybody else that would fit the bill more than Leslie Headland. So my question is, why? Is it because do they know, or do they acknowledge that the amount of backlash this show has gotten? I mean, let's talk about it really quick before we go on to this. Like, has there ever been a show that we have reviewed thus far that has created more controversy and backlash than Acolyte? Yeah, there's backlash with Kenobi and painting Vader as, how they painted him and Kenobi as a drunkard crybaby,
loser,
in his loser in his house. But has there been a show thus far that has taken the cake? I just don't get it, man, and it scares me to think like if they went
there's still others out there. There's still other projects out there,
right? But like, why would you do it? She fits the bill,
dude. It's weird. It really I don't disagree.
Like
it's weird.
180 million. 180 million.
That's the big reason why, for sure. And I don't know if this article will get into it, but like the cost of this show
was
ridiculous.
contradictory because they've shown that money's not an object to them. You think that they just threw $180 million at this show for just to throw it out there and think it was going to be a flop?
But if they aren't getting the viewership, then it might mean that those DEI ESG investors or whatever are maybe like, well, maybe this product ain't worth it.
They took the merch off.
We'll get to that. That is particularly interesting too. Yeah. But let me also. Scran is interested to hear our thoughts on this. I know Fear of Female isn't it shocking? Acolyte gone, shock and horror. Nerdy Neo says, but Filter, why sad to see it canceled? You should be happy to get any Star Wars, because if you don't, you're not a Star Wars fan. I forget that, Nerdy Neo. Thank you for reminding me. I have to do better. Star Wars Scran said they could have said it wasn't being renewed, but they decided to go with canceled. I know. So definitive, so final. I love it. Then Scran says the Acolyte is anti-Star Wars. Defending it is to be anti-Star Wars, right? Nerdy Neo. Disney is Joker in Dark Knight, while burning the money is about sending a message, right? Well, that's the confusion. That's part of Hitman's why? Because usually they're more than happy to do exactly that, burn more and more money. But anyways, on to the article really quick. Exclusive. Story of the Acolyte will not continue, with Lucasfilm opting not to proceed with a second season of the Star Wars offshoot starring Amanda Stenberg. Sources tell Deadline. Word of the decision comes more than a month after the 8-episode first season of the series. Has it only been a month? Wow. From creator, director, executive producer, and showrunner Leslie Headland, former assistant to Harvey Weinstein, wrapped its run on Disney Plus. The news is not entirely surprising. The Acolyte did okay with critics, 78% Rotten Tomatoes, but divided Star Wars fans, which was reflected in its overall viewership. Driven by interest into the venerable franchise, the Acolyte got off to a strong start when it launched June 4th. 2 episodes. The main reason, at least for some of us that were watching it, Static was, that push, he's the one that pushed us to it, was just to see how cringy it was going to be. They really did try to lull you in a little bit with those first couple episodes, but then it just turned out to be boring anyways. It almost like they should have led with some of the cringe. But, and then this is called, and it was then the rest of the shit show that started coming out, and we're like, oh, wow. So it is just that bad. Generating 4.8 million views in its first day on the streamer to rank as the biggest series premiere on Disney Plus this year. The tally rose to 11.1 million views globally after 5 days of streaming, corroborating Disney's data. The series made its debut on Nielsen's top 10 originals chart in its premiere week at number 7, 488 million minutes viewed. Some of these are just so goofy to me. Climbing to number 6 following week, the Acolyte could not sustain the momentum, dropping out of the top 10 in week 3 and staying off before returning after the release of the finale at number 10, 335 minutes. 335 million minutes? Believed to be the lowest for a Star Wars series finale. Like fellow global streamers, Netflix and Prime Video, Disney Plus has a high viewership threshold for renewing high-end big-budget series, that cost well above $100 million per season to make. In interviews, Hedlund has revealed that she has pitched her ideas for a second season and has shared her hopes for a renewal. This kind of goes back to Static's point from earlier about, potentially shutting her up, because she has been rather vocal about trying to get this going. Lucasfilm's first and most successful to date Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian, is carrying on, crossing over to features with the upcoming The Mandalorian and Grogu. Company's series that preceded The Acolyte, Ahsoka, has been renewed for oh my god, there's gonna be more Ahsoka. Of course there is, because that's Dave Filoni. That's his pet project. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller. The mystery wasn't even there, people. Everything was told to us into the first freaking episode. We talked about it on the weekend pregame. It's like, they really should have led with because it is to Lucas's style, there aren't flashbacks. It's just one continuous story. He never focused on flashbacks, and if anything, the one kind of form of reminding you of something in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin had just decapitated Dooku, and it's Palpatine that kind of mentions the Tuscans and stuff like that, and
it wasn't even a flashback. It was just you.
No. But that's what
Tuscan
I mean.
Raiders,
right? But that was Lucas's way, just kind of giving that quick reminder of what happened in the past. Right. It wasn't to focus on it, to flash back, but just that you could, the sounds of everything going on. You think you could swear it was the Tuscan Raiders in the background you heard. Mm-hmm. So that was much more, just mixed into what was going, but just it continues the story. And if anything, they should have kind of like how we talked about with Book of Boba Fett. They should have led with the flashbacks, not done the flashback thing with the back to tank and crap like that, and just led with that, and then got into everything, leading up to. It would have been a lot more. I think it would have helped things flow maybe a little bit better. And again, for this, they just ended up just telling you exactly who everyone was from the get-go. Like, who cares? So, they certainly were no, Columbo or Murder, She Wrote for setting up their murder mysteries. Well, Columbo did tell you in the beginning of the episode, but then, like, as I always heard it from my mom, she said how they would not watch the beginning of the show and then wait until it got going, and then they would tune in and then start watching to go along with it. But then, like other shows, Murder, She Wrote, Matlock, they usually kept the mystery of who done it until they did the reveal. But anyways, that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadows, secrets, and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes. But the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. In addition to Stenberg, the cast includes Lee Jung-jae, Manny Jacinto, Jodie Turner-Smith, Daphne Keane, Rebecca Henderson, Charlie Barnett, John Charles Chapman, and Carrie Ann Moss. That was all she wrote for that one. Buckety doodle bye. I can't say we're gonna miss you anytime soon. Okay, so then also so there was that article. I have a Forbes article here that kind of it looks like it breaks things down. There might be some repeat stuff that we're gonna be hearing here, but then it also, because this is the funny thing, the very obvious reason Disney canceled The Acolyte, it wasn't toxic dude bros. It was never because of toxic dude bros. Anyways, any of their shit that fails is purely on Disney Lucasfilm. Anywho, so there's been much gnashing of teeth and rending of garments over the past week over the cancellation of The Acolyte by Disney. The Star Wars series will not live beyond its first season, and it's unclear whether any of the characters or storylines set up in season 1 will be carried on anywhere else. I do think that the Stranger was a good character, and I'd be happy to see him again in some other capacity. Darth Plagueis was spotted toward the end of the season, and I'd certainly like to see more of him. But the funny thing is, too, is that nobody... Honestly, the only reason you know it's Plagueis is thanks to the EU, the true canon. And it's kind of funny that some of these dingbats kind of forget that. And that's the only reason why you have that look for him. Because otherwise, it was pure mystery of who he was, what he was, and anything like that. Because Palpatine didn't get into great specifics. He just mentioned Darth Plagueis the Wise.
That's it. But until you read the book, and to your point, if you know anything about
save others from death but himself.
But you wouldn't know that, to your point, unless you
read the book.
Yeah, unless you're an EU.
Yeah, you went through the novelization, and if you want a great breakdown, check out Star Wars Marvel Purist. Him and Raging Rhino broke down the book. It's a lot of fun to listen to. And I'd say, if anything, check out the audiobook for it. It's fantastic. Mwah. Nothing. Like I said, I still wish we could get Ian McDermott to voice at least him killing Plagueis, just because I want to hear him giving that speech as he's roasting and charring Plagueis to death. Oh, it'd be fantastic. Anyway, but the show itself was not a hit, largely because it was poorly written, riddled with plot holes. Wow, somebody's getting into it. Had very uneven acting from its various leads and looked cheap despite its enormous cost. And while some outlets want to paint the cancellation as a win for toxic dude bros in fandom, as if no woman could possibly have disliked the Acolyte, I'm kind of shocked that this is coming from a place like Forbes. Maybe it's just me. I'm not super aware of this, everything that goes on with Forbes. This is actually kind of shocking to me. And not shocking, just kind of like, oh, surprising. There we go. Better. Others are saying that its failure will cause Disney to avoid trying new things. I think the real culprit is twofold. The show was far too expensive and did not draw big enough numbers to justify the cost. And that I would say that's probably its biggest defining killer right there. Because not enough people wanted to tune in. Disney has killed their Star Wars. I'm very specific here. Disney killed their Star Wars. Real Star Wars will always live on. You will never get rid of, to me, and I've said this before, I don't let this trash ruin my enjoyment of real Star Wars, the true expanded universe, the true storylines. I separate the two. That's why I follow with that. It's Disney trilogy. It's Disney's Star Wars. You separate it and you know what's what. There you go. So they've killed their own franchise, which is just part in my like it is. Please keep going. It's just hilarious.
But can we touch on this really quick? Like,
yes.
Because I don't understand, because like in the chat earlier, it's like they're literally Joker burning the money. So I don't understand why. Right. Even if it didn't get the reception that they wanted, in my opinion, and it could be subjective, their whole goal is to destroy Star Wars and to push their agenda, which they did. They won. They destroyed the lore within the show, right, and they pushed their agenda.
Right.
Like, can you imagine the like there would be backlash if they cancel this and it was just a dude rider, right? If it was Joby Harold, like, I don't think. I mean, yeah, people. I think it'd be different if a dude wrote this, but they canceled a one like Leslie Headland.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Like, how dare you? The Force is female. And she alluded to the fact that like Kathleen was all about this. So I just, like I said, as we go through this article, I don't understand their play. And if they're solely bent, if money is not an object to them, and that's my understanding, my belief on the matter, then why do it? Because now it looks like, well, money is an object to them because they just spent $180 million.
Yeah, they pissed it down the toilet. Now they're finally rethinking one of their investments, and it, like Static brings up money laundering, perhaps.
This is Ukrainian.
What they're laundering it into, who knows? But it's a big question on this, and I think Hitman. I don't disagree with you. It's a very puzzling thing.
Like, I guess
I wasn't, because if we get further, just adding on to the point, I was not expecting this show in particular to get the axe, because as it is, yes, it is a vehicle for their agenda, for their narrative, for what they are wanting to push. But I mean, it could be thanks to the economy being completely trash and everything like that they are starting to finally rethink some of these. They are no longer having the same slush funds that they did. I don't know.
Maybe I should be careful
to be the fly on the wall, at Lucasfilm, to know exactly what is going on would be interesting.
I guess I need to be careful because, I mean, Kenobi wasn't greenlit for a second series, right? A second season.
Well,
and Deborah Chow.
Kenobi was more seen as very much a standalone series. Like the whole thing with ending the way it did was meant that technically they left it very much in that pocket that, okay, that's the end. And we've only heard Ewan McGregor say it would be great to return. I would love to return, but for right now, it was just as the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was just seen as just that one series. It was never like said, oh, this is season 1. It was just the Kenobi series, and then that was it. That was all it was talking about at the time.
My fear is just, and then we can get on, is like they're behind the scenes, like, oh, look, they're so joyous that we cancel the show. Just wait for the next thing that we're going to come out with. I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked that they did it, and now it's kind of making me rethink, like, is money actually an object to them? Because before it was, I mean, you spend all this money on Book of Boba, which I still think is the greatest thing they've ever come out with. You spend all this money on Mando. You spend all this money on Ahsoka. Like, it progressively, within the destruction of lore, it progressively got worse, right? I think,
right.
Book of Boba was a little bit of crack that they gave the fans, right, to get them hooked, and then it just now we're on, like,
I think the Mandalorian kind of served more of that little bit of crack to be like, ooh, see, look, we are producing a good quote unquote Star Wars show. So don't you want to come back for more of our slop? We're it's like it is kind of like acting like a bit of like drug dealers. Like, here's the first hit for free. Now start coming back, and maybe you'll get hooked.
I'm still just shocked that they canceled Headland. That's what I just can't get over, man. Because she's, like I said, she's a perfect fit, man. She pushed all. She wrote the show. She inserted all of the nonsense within that show. She's a female. Her wife was in the show. Like, I don't understand their play, and I don't know if they're smart enough to play us, and they're giving us a little bit of hope to poison our soul type thing, or if they're just like, crap, we thought this show was going to be amazing. We thought the fans were going to love it. We now have to, we've continued to have to deal with these peasants on the other side of the rebel scum, if you will, the Lucas fans. We've continuously had to, dealt with them, and now they're coming out of the woodworks. They won't go away. There's all this divisiveness. They're causing problems for us because they keep, like, I don't know what it is, man, but it's just, I did not see this coming. Like, am I glad? Yes. Also, I'm not. I'm lying and wait to see what they're doing next.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see for sure. And then Nerdy Neo did say now, but he meant no. 300 minutes watch sounds about right. And he said Disney Star Wars fans hate the term Disney Star Wars. Good. Static says, well, the theory would be they would be cleaning the money of, say, quote, oh, hold on, puts on tinfoil hat, trafficking. I gotta get my tinfoil hat. Hang on. Dang it. I didn't have it in time.
You talking about Epstein Island stuff?
That sort of stuff, yeah. See, okay, got the tinfoil hat on. We're ready to go. It could very much mean that sort of stuff. Yeah. You know, all sorts of wild things start coming about.
You know, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but you know, I wouldn't put it past them.
No, neither would I.
Because haven't they been accused of what's the term? It rhymes with groomers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We can say that, by the way, because we're not on YouTube.
All right, tinfoil hat, back off. Hello, Jordan France. How's it going? Saying, long live expanded universe. May the force be with everyone. God bless. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And yes, certainly for us, we keep the expanded universe alive in our hearts, and it'll never go away because Lord knows we've got tons of content from it all. I still have a ton of comic books of it to go through. I still have a ton of books to go through, all just lying in wait. So I got to get back on that. I've been a little lax. I need to get back to it. And then Jordan France says, to hell with the Acolyte, just read Darth Plagueis. Hell yes. In fact, I think I had, or at least I tried to before we started watching that slop. Hello, Melissa Lord. Welcome over here. Saying, hey guys, hello. And then Sadek said, don't look into Disney Cruise Pass and the location of a certain island. Oh no. I'm not putting back on the tinfoil hat, but yeah. Oh no. All right, let's continue with this really quick. The second bullet point, which was the show was far too expensive and did not receive enough critical acclaim and widespread fan support. Yeah, that's the other part. Although they had plenty of they had support of the older all they had was the support of their shills, and that didn't mean much. They needed the normie crowds to start coming in, but they were not getting even those. Both of these factors include a common theme. The Acolyte simply cost far too much, and the investment wasn't met with huge viewership numbers like The Mandalorian or critical acclaim like Andor. I just despise you motherfuckers out there that actually gave this slop and this slop more attention than it fucking deserved. Both were trash. Both destroyed canon. Both ruined the characters in their own different ways. It can go sit and spin off a cliff. But mainly Andor. Andor was still using preset characters. Mandalorian was mixing with its own until Book of Boba Fett, and his fat ass came into the show. God, that was so bad seeing him in that armor.
Yeah, but I would take that over what we got him.
But okay, so they do show a bit of a breakdown here, and I'll try and zoom in a little more. I might have to open that image in a new tab. There we go. Okay, so yeah, right here they're kind of showing it for Mando 1 and 2. Total run times reaching about 4 hours each. Episode counts also both 8 each at 100 mil, 120 mil. Cost per minute produced 367,000, 428,000. Average viewers per episode. They don't have anything for Mando 1, but they have 29.9 million for season 2. Cost per minute watched 0.14 cents, 20.024. I mean, I don't know what this really factors into.
We need Tuscan Bob on here so he could break it down. I remember he was really good at breaking all this crap down. The one show we did. But
yeah, I mean, just for anybody that wants to kind of, these are the numbers going. At the end of the day, I'm just kind of lost because this all seems
accurate. Like jargon. Where are they getting these numbers from? That's my question.
That's the other part of it that really has always been kind of cooking my noodle. So furthering on, this is really interesting table because it shows us a lot of important details about each. Okay, so they're going to kind of break it down for us. Hopefully I can understand it too. Of these series' success or lack thereof. Acolyte is the second most expensive show on the list, 180 million, after Andor, 250 million. But that's only the total spent. If you look at cost per minute of footage, the Acolyte costs a whopping 671,000 per minute to produce. Andor just cost just 529,000, about 150,000 less per minute, thanks to its longer, meatier episodes and 12 episode count. No other Star Wars show received a 12 episode season, and very few episodes across all of Star Wars were as long as you. Wait, was Andor 12 episodes? Oh my God, it was. And it still did dick to tell a story.
It was 7 episodes of him eating the cereal.
And in fact, this is exactly what it was for Andor.
Boring and sad.
Love that.
Thanks to so no other Star Wars show received a 12 episode season, and very few episodes across all Star Wars were long. As you can see in the chart, Andor runs 2.5 hours longer total than Ahsoka, and is not much shorter than the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian combined. And at least with Andor, you can tell where the money went. The Acolyte, I guess you can. The Acolyte cost far more and performed far worse than any other Disney Plus Star Wars series, and this is why it was canceled. If it had been hugely popular with viewership numbers closer to Mandalorian than the Andor, it almost certainly would have been renewed. But the critical reception was lukewarm, and fan reception was largely very negative, and viewers didn't show up to watch it. I don't believe this was due to the show's diversity or new setting in the High Republic, but rather to the overall sense that this show was poorly executed with gimmicky twin storyline that never worked, some truly abysmal moments like the witch chants. I mean, that was memed to hell and back. That was at least pretty hilarious that people just took that and freaking ran with it. It was great. And his biggest star killed off in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss. Hey, she returned in the flashbacks. I do think the Acolyte had potential, and perhaps its second season would have realized that potential. But I remain baffled at Disney placing this much trust and this kind of budget in the hands of someone with very little experience. It reminds me of the train wreck that is Amazon's Ring of Power. Okay. Also a series with a huge budget and a showrunner that have very little experience. Disney does need to try new things, and Star Wars does need to continue to be diverse. Andor is a great example of a very diverse Star Wars show that worked remarkably well. What do you mean by that exactly? You say that, but I don't think you know what that word means at times. I don't know what you're trying to say, or what diverse in what way, in characters, in settings, in what? I hate when they just word salad shit sometimes. But the company also needs to be smart and judicious about who it puts in charge of projects. I'll discuss this more in a future post, but the main problem with Star Wars since Lucasfilm joined Disney is a lack of clear vision or strategy for the franchise. That's been obvious since the frustrating sequel trilogy and continue to haunt all Star Wars to this day. So yeah, a little more of a breakdown from Forbes, at least in terms like it is. We got a little more of the budgetary things. So, Melissa Lord saying Andor is money laundering too. I mean, it's all seems like one giant money laundering scheme. Static said you can tell Fractured was having a good week with all the memes he was making for today. My brain was just cooking with it all. I was like, I'm feeling good. So yeah, I mean, they just invariably just shot themselves in the foot with this one. Acolyte apparently was just that series too far. Anything to add with this last bit of article there, Hitman?
I just think it's a really interesting point about the money laundering.
Right.
I will forever be baffled as to well, again, like, what does he mean diverse?
That's what I was
like.
That's what I'm saying. What are you
Star Wars is well, okay. Diverse in what sense? Diverse in the sense of like.
That's what I'm saying. Settings, characters. I mean, what are you trying to say here?
Settings, race, aliens, all that kind of stuff.
Because,
talking about diverse.
Lucas always had it was a quote unquote diverse universe, diverse galaxy. We had many different settings. We had many different aliens. We had many different this, that, or the other thing. It was not just a sterile and bland universe. It was always very fascinating.
They're probably talking about the diverse as in like the cultural word diverse, or not culture, like the I don't know. I think they're not talking about the same diverse. Because they look at what they did with the Witch Sisters and everything that's diverse to them. I don't know, man. I just if you're gonna make a claim like that, you need to be able to back it up and like I guess explain what you mean by diverse. Because again, LucasArts like is the most diverse thing ever. Like there's so many different races, there's so many different aliens, there's so many different species, there's so many different settings, there's so many different situations. Like it's about as diverse as you can get.
Yeah, I was failing to grasp that one too.
So I mean, my goodness, I don't know. So I'm terrified as to what's going to happen now. But you know what's interesting is if they're so concerned, if they are now, it's either money laundering or they're actually concerned about money. So does this mean that all the noise that we have made on the other side of the fence, are they listening or do they care? Probably not. That's probably not what it is. But I beg to differ, or I asked the question. Like,
I think what they are looking at was viewership. What they were really bringing in terms of like new subscriptions and stuff like that. Did they get that?
Like if I pull up Disney Plus, if I put a Disney Plus account and I click on a show and it plays for 10 seconds or 5 seconds, I decide, I don't want to watch this. Does that count as a view? Or do you have to watch the show 5 minutes?
They said something like 300 minutes in one of the other articles, right? So they're tracking certain minutes that are being watched. So yeah, that could be anything from, you just watched the first 10 minutes of the show. I went like
300 minutes per account. Is it 300 minutes collectively? Is it what is like 300 minutes is?
It was collectively. So it was everybody that had watched it, and it was
a dumb number.
That's their numbers. I'm just using them.
I get it, but so again, this is the problem. Like I said, I'm not smart enough. Greg had said, Tuscan Bob, we had him on when we did the major show with Script Trooper and Raging Rhino. And
for the Andor finale.
I remember him. I think we had delved into this a little bit, so I'm not smart enough to know about this, but the numbers don't it's all subjective. Because there's no clear way to track it, and if there is, I don't know what that is because nobody's ever told me, and I've never heard. Right? If I just log on and watch a show, does that count as a view? Because if that's the case, if you release this show, right? Of course, probably people are going to click in and probably because they want to tune in and see what it's about. If you're not marketing it correctly, and you haven't released a lot of. Of course, people are probably going to click into it and look at it. But if that's the case, if they're just clicking in and watching 5 seconds of it, of course you're going to inflate your numbers. Oh yeah, we had,
well, it's funny too because when I stop and think about it just now, Raging Rhino, of course, did all of his reviews, and he records himself while he first time watching it, gives his responses kind of during it, and then we'll kind of break it down, and even went back to the episodes for Casual Rage and broke them down further. So part of those like 300 minutes is him doing that, which was still not enough to get. It all is rather funny because it's always like, oh, don't hate watch, don't do this, don't do that. It doesn't make a difference. In this instance, it didn't make a big difference. Like, you had these people that were quote unquote hate watching it or whatever, but in the end, it still didn't add up to enough for what they needed. At least for this one. Sorry, I kind of threw that out there, but it's yeah. So even like Melissa Lord's pointing out, it is minutes watched is usually collective. So people that watched for 5 minutes have their 5 minutes added to the collective. And 30 seconds usually is one view. So that's how that all kind of gets summed up for that stuff. For these streaming services.
Yeah.
Okay. Now. Got some other parts to all this Acolyte nonsense. That was rather hilariously funny. And people were testing this. People were confirming this. That yes, on top of it all, Disney had removed the Acolyte as search terms from the Disney store. So you could not find those toys unless maybe you went to I believe a third party seller like eBay or something like that. And let me even double check that, see if it's still, oh, wait. Never mind. Hang on. That was the case. It seems we've got a little bit of merch up here. 4 products found for the Acolyte. We got t-shirts. Get your t-shirts. So they do have t-shirts for the Acolyte. And Static saying can't find Andor stuff either.
Is this on Disney.com?
This is the DisneyStore.com.
Well, that's crazy because earlier this week they took it off.
Yeah. I think they might have, let's see, Andor. Well, no searches were found for Andor. But that is funny. See here, Acolyte. We do have some t-shirts, and it's DisneyStore.com. Yeah, that's my guessing too, Melissa, is that they pulled the Wokalite merch, then people called them out, so they put it back. They panicked, and they at least added they added a sweatshirt, some t-shirts. There you go. See, there you go. But they aren't true proper hat merchants. They don't have any hats. That's disappointing. Because how am I going to get a hat for my hat? But that's you just have to check these things sometimes just to see what the news still is. But that was still pretty funny that for a hot minute, they had removed that stuff from the Disney store. And this is something I really don't know. So initially, yes, of course, you had the stands come out. They had to, of course, they're trying so desperately. Renew the Acolyte. They've started their change.org petition to try and save the show. That was then. And this is now. which they are now up to 34,532. Their next goal is 35,000. Can they hit it? Can they hit that goal? Here's the thing. You aren't getting pure data on the Acolyte fans, because even with this whole thing, because anybody can sign this stupid thing, right? And you do have the usual weirdos that come out, or this is the people I want to see original Star Wars material be given opportunity to thrive. Shows okay, this is, I don't know, this is almost sounds a little trolly. Shows with POC leads are rare, and representation in IP such as Star Wars can positively influence a generation of children. More people think want it, but then there are some of these. I'm a YouTuber and I want to make more content off of it. Also, I think it would be hilarious for Disney to sink more money onto this mess, because fuck them. That was in Static brought this up to me the Wednesday night when I was playing Knights of the Old Republic 2. And this was the sort of stuff that I was saying that was going to probably show up on it, is that you were going to have people that weren't really wanting it for the sake of, they were fans, but they were just people that were just trying to get it just because, anybody can sign these silly things, and it's just funny to get those kind of, comments on there. And whoo howdy, they do have some. Oh, they have more Static. They've got more videos. There's more videos than what we were looking at it on Thursday. Oh no. But here's the ultimate thing anyways. These change.org petitions are generally worthless. They're just mainly for the quote unquote fan base, just to feel like they did something, even as minimal as creating a change.org petition that basically any jackass can do. These don't do anything. Not really. Not unless you can get millions upon millions of people to maybe sign these things. This won't really go anywhere. Disney has made up their mind. Even looking at the people that are trolling and hating, so far only 34,000. That's not enough for them. They would need it in the millions upon. They would need that 4 million. Was it like it was talking about for one of the shows getting they would need like the 4 million people that watched initially the first couple of episodes, it said in the articles, for them to really go, maybe we should consider this. Otherwise, it's pointless. It's stupid. But hey, I guess it gives us a chuckle, that's for sure, especially as they are making their little videos and trying to push for the Acolyte. This is something that for the YouTuber Ross Scott, his channel Cursed Farms, that I follow and have been for a very long time, in his video for I know it was an EA title. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. I think Battleborn. Let me try because the main point though is like he said it too, is that like generally, unless you can get like a real turnout, electronic e-signatures and stuff like that are worthless. If you really want to come on folks, let's see how far are you really trying to resurrect your stupid show? Because if you really want to make any kind of noise, doing an actual like letter campaign might cause a little more of a stir, especially if you can get enough people to do it again. But again, that would need to be into the millions, if not more. Again, to get their attention, to make them care, other than just maybe throwing it into the paper shredder. Because at least that actually meant you took some effort. You actually wrote something out, got a stamp, slapped it on there, and mailed it out to the head people of Lucasfilm or whatever. Otherwise, again, this is pointless and pretty stupid. and furthering the idea of stupid. Because honestly, you're not going to get this. They weren't going to get the same turnout because, again, people are signing both petitions, if anything. You had the group Echo Base Network jump into this too. I get it. They're trying to, further up with a little bit of what was done before, that there are more of us and there are of them sort of thing. And they said, share this with everyone. Okay, guys, let's see if we really are way more of us. Here is a link for the anti-renew the Acolyte petition. They got almost 4,000 signatures in 2 days. Let's see if we can beat that in 1 day. And they do have their own change.org petition, which not as gaining attraction. Because again, like I said, for one, these change.org petitions are stupid. You should have just, left it at what it was. But I understand the idea of what you were trying to do, but this just makes it look laughable. And again, like I said, the problem is that you have people signing the big one for the laughs, and they've already done that. They don't care to sign another one just to do this. Like I said, I get it, but yeah, it kind of makes, quote unquote, this side, our whatever side, however you want to put it, look a little goofy. I mean, if anything, there is something that probably made much more of a laugh at these people than doing this. This is just more of like a self-own than anything. And like I said, I understand what they were wanting to do. It was a fart in the wind, dude. A fart in the wind. Let me get the other thing, which is pretty funny. Because I had to endure this. And Hitman, you get to endure this now. You are there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. All right. Let's get ready for some cringe. This comes from Steph, my nerdy home over on X. She did a nice little collection of the goofballs from TikTok. And we're starting out strong, baby. Let me know if you can hear it.
So the Acolyte was canceled.
It's definitely because incels didn't like two people.
Hey, man?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
People of color holding hands.
I don't know where they got this from. This one is such a stretch. Such a reach. Nobody was commenting on them holding hands. Just the bullshit of the episode as a whole. Or the last 2 episodes as a whole. It's all bullshit.
We're not going to forget that.
They've hit the second tower.
It was set up to fail from the beginning. When the Acolyte was first announced as a female-run show with Leslie Headland at the helm.
Because of who Leslie Headland is, who she has worked for, you stupid dumb bitch. That was what everyone was pointing out. Not because she was a woman, but because who she worked for.
Starring a black femme and a diverse cast of characters, unlike we had seen in a Star Wars project before, the review bombers took to the internet before the show even had a chance to air.
That was Disney, as we also covered it here. Disney preemptively did a lot of that shit. Disney preemptively came out and, basically, did the whole, much like with, what's her name? The gal that played Reva.
Oh, I forget.
I did too, but did the whole pre up to, there's going to be a lot of racism and all this bullshit. And they were already, sparking that flame from the get.
Worth the price.
understand that it got review bombed to an insane degree by so many people who were hating on it just because of what seemed like internal prejudice.
Amanda Stenberg, who not only gave a phenomenal performance as Osha, but also as her twin sister May, had no choice but to...
A phenomenal... Hitman, did you get this vibe of a phenomenal performance out of...
Oh, absolutely. Not.
I mean, you want to talk about deadpan acting. Oh my God.
But you can't say that. You can't have an opinion on that because you'd be racist.
Oh, right. Which I'm fine with. Thank you, Nerdy Neo. Moses Ingram. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Much appreciated. But
it was wrong. It was okay for everything that happened to Gina Carano that happened, but when it happened to her, then it's all racist.
I know. It's funny how that works.
Stick up for themselves and defend herself against the vitriol and bigotry that she was receiving because Lucasfilm did not protect her.
We thank God did not go over that on this show, but I believe Static did torture me with that. I should have tortured you with it as well, but I didn't. You were spared. It was horrible. It was cringy. It was dumb. But I mean, it's just funny that Disney Lucasfilm didn't stand up for her. Bitch, they preempted all
Supposed Star Wars fans were divided, and by that I mean incels of the internet and of Twitter.
Managed to pull off enemies to lovers so well.
Lucasfilm didn't do anything to protect the cast and the crew of the Acolyte.
Why can't the girls have fun things for the girlies? Why?
But it just shows how fragile you guys are to storytelling.
And it was for the girls on board.
Leslie Headland was so dedicated as a fan of Star Wars.
So when Mother Anicia says this quote, and the whole...
What is that? The galaxy is not a place that welcomes women like us. Yeah, that was laid on thick.
The whole show is literally about people of color.
What?
Ask me what I'm about to do.
Oh boy.
I'm about to cry. Thank you for asking.
I don't care. Over a TV show being canceled. You call us weak. Holy shit.
About what the incel said.
You guys bullied Amanda Stenberg so bad.
The Acolyte, it was kind of to be expected considering how it is set in the universe that has, if not one of then the most toxic fan base like ever.
To receive this news,
I gladly hold the flag for most toxic fan base. I say we spread it across the internet, along with being the most toxic fan base for gaming. We must get these bitches out.
I like him.
I am mourning the fact that we're not getting any more Khmer edits because
this is the only, it was one giant soap opera for them. That's the only reason why they're so sad. They want because I have noticed, at least within the store that I work, we no longer quite have the same section of the cheesy romance novels with Fabio on the covers and shit like that. Those sort of books. So I think that this is what they're peddling to, or at least hoping that they get to, when they have this cheesy bullshit in their stupid shows. They're hoping for the weird, goofy cat ladies and shit like that would normally have been reading those books are trying to come. They're trying to get them these shows.
We're not gonna get any more source material.
What do you mean? It wasn't bringing in the view.
The viewership was not bad. The precedent this is setting is very scary and very concerning.
That's business, lady. That's what every show from the get-go, from when they started making ratings such a thing, that's what they've always relied upon for every goddamn show out there. And yes, a lot of shows for people that was very beloved died. A lot of people that loved Firefly, it died. Granted, meddling on the behalf of Fox and shit like that, but come on, let's face it. It is pride. Yeah. But these sort of things happen when even long time going shows, their fan base, their viewership starts dropping. Yes, naturally, then the studios and stuff going, well, it's no longer time. Time to go.
Lucasfilm is doing with this decision is allowing the bigots to win, allowing the bigots to run with this and decide, even if that's not the original intention of canceling the show, that they have won, that they are correct, that Star Wars needs to be white and male, and it can't be anything else.
I don't care to correct her record. If she wants to believe that, by all fucking means, lady. Me on the other, I'm just gonna keep laughing, and like it is, I'll just keep enjoying my real Star Wars, and I'm just gonna laugh at this shit being canceled because it's goddamn hilarious.
I don't know if I can disagree with her.
Huh?
I don't know if I can disagree with her.
On which point?
I mean, she had a couple good points.
Which ones in particular?
Well, go back really quick. Don't do the Amanda Sandberg one.
No, I was just gonna go back to when she first came back on screen.
Unless I misunderstood what she was saying, which is obviously possible.
Viewership was not bad. The precedent this is setting is very scary and very concerning. What Lucasfilm is doing with this decision is allowing the bigots to win, allowing the bigots to run with this and decide, even if that's not the original intention of canceling the show, that they have won, that they are correct, that Star Wars needs to be white and male, and it can't be anything.
Okay, so I totally misunderstood. So no, I do not agree with her. Star Wars has never been like white and male. Again, this is my problem. Like, I don't want to camp out on this because like we've done it like throughout the years, but like these people are ignorant and irritate me because they have this presupposition that Star Wars has been white and male,
right? As
they have forgotten that Princess Leia was female. And they came in. These people don't have a right to having a.
They don't have crazy eyes, Melissa. You're right.
No, they don't have a right to say that it's white and male because they came in to find a female.
They can't even. Yeah, they can't even divine what a female is.
No, they can't. So therefore, you don't get it. You can't. You by proxy, you don't get to say that it's male, and which is crazy because
what is a male?
Because if you can say what a male is, why can't you say what a female is? It's literally the opposite. One has a dick, one doesn't. Like it.
I mean, that's how we are able to separate the two sexes. But I mean, apparently, according to them, the ones of science allegedly, it can be anything.
But no, like this presupposition that it's all male and white, and it's like. What was Billy D. Williams? Was he white?
It was Chewbacca.
What was Chewbacca?
What was the Celestial? The freaking oh god, why am I forgetting his name now? It's a trap.
Akbar,
thank you.
Right.
Mon Mothma in freaking Return of the Jedi. I mean, well, I'm going off of the movies, you know. It's like you had all of these different things going on, and then like Mace Windu, you're gonna suddenly remove him. Oh, okay. You're gonna forget about him.
Go to Samuel L. Jackson. Tell him that you're not black. Tell him he's not black, and see how that works out.
And hello, Brandon Tran. How's it going? Saying hello, Fracture Filter and Hitman. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you are too, sir.
So no,
welcome to the party, pal.
It's just this ignorant presupposition that you hold that's backed by no facts.
Right.
Like I get that on this show, there's times that like I say stuff that's subjective. Like it is. I mean, I get that and I acknowledge that, but like this is a presupposition. You have no basis to say this. Absolutely no basis to say this. You look stupid. You look ignorant. You sit there on the other side of the camera and you make this assertion with no facts. And the viewership wasn't, and then the viewership wasn't bad. Well, again, we just talked about, like, it's subjective. Like, what are the hard facts? Tell me, explain the viewership, I guess. But yeah, so I totally understood what she was saying. So
You're fine. You're good. No worries,
I do not
man.
agree with her whatsoever, and nor do I agree. Like, in her, we're not going to talk about her hair or the shirt that she's wearing. Her whatever that Freddy's Friday night, whatever it is. I feel so stupid. I even know what that is. These kids are turning me at work.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Five Guys at Freddy's. Makes me think about that one girl from Gamergate 2.0.
Oh boy. Let's not get into that now. Oh God. So even kind of going back a little bit, Meteor Avic Timon said, soon watching the trailer will count as a view. That would not surprise me.
Why is it so? But like, why is it like it's not racist that Amanda, whatever her name is in the show, but it was racist when Samuel L. Jackson played in Attack of the Clones? Like, I just don't, or let's say not racist. Let's say, like, you know, it was white when that pisses me off, man. White and male.
It's Yoda. Yoda's a little green alien dude. Come on. I mean, I know what they're doing. They're trying to.
Oh, for sure. But again, like,
counting who acted, who voiced, or whatever. I mean, that's how funny they want to suddenly get with it. But it's like, but what about what was just represented on screen?
And I could be wrong, but my interpretation of what she's saying, the bigots are the Lucas fan or the Star Wars fans, the people that have.
Well, yes, that's the point. Yeah,
for sure. You're a bigot because you hold a belief that is contradictory to the other person. Yeah, your belief contradicts their belief, and therefore you're the bigot. But you can't call her a bigot because then you'd be a racist, xenophobe. Like, it's a double standard. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
they hold the we'll say, for lack of a better term, the majority, even though it's not the majority. They hold this majority view, and they think the minority is the problem, and the minorities think that they're the problem. Like, it's just, I was having a really good day. Like, this was the most joyous day. I was so excited to come on, and then you play this crap clip of this, of her twerking, whatever the kids call it. Like, looks like she's got to, like, shake a turd out.
Oh, no! I've made Hitman actually be the clip.
Boring and sad.
I'm sorry. Let's see. Wait,
is there any more of this clip, or is it done?
This is it. That was it.
Oh, okay. I don't trust
Static said that one dude looks like Jaff. Oh no.
Who's Jaff?
I think David Jaff. He was the game dev for, like, things like God of War and Twisted Metal and stuff. He's gone full freaking schizoid.
And where?
Says Disney isn't going to renew Acolyte, so what's the point of the anti-petition? That's also kind of like my question to it too, nerdy. I'm just like, why do it? I mean, like I said, I get they're trying to get like they're trying to get a little own on the fans, but when you've already got such a, I don't get it either.
They're doing a petition to get the show to keep going.
Yeah, there was a petition to keep it going, and then there's the anti-petition to keep it canceled.
Well, why don't you just go start a GoFundMe and fund 100, get 100, do a Kickstarter for 180 million, and then you can do your own show.
Right? I dare them. Nerdy Neo said, freaking woke autocorrect. I said anti, and my phone automatically filled in the word racism. Oh, when you anti-petition and you auto-corrected it to anti-racism. Hilarious. Nerdy Neo also said the bigots are anyone who didn't like the Acolyte and didn't like Kenobi because of Moses Ingram and yada yada yada. That's their MO. Fear of FEMA says these Acolyte fans are the result of America shutting down our insane asylums. I agree 100%. Brandon Trent says, honestly, I'm not surprised the Acolyte season 2 is canceled. It nowhere as groundbreaking TV shows like Breaking Bad, Office, or Criminal Minds. Well, and
I never saw Breaking Bad.
People are seemingly bringing up Breaking Bad season 1. When I first started watching that series, and I started from the beginning, I thought season 1 was good. It was laying the groundwork for what was going to be going into everything, but like I found it very interesting. You can kind of see why Walt is, kind of deciding on this path, especially in the pilot episode as his brother-in-law is showing off the drug bust that he was a part of, all the money that they confiscated as being DEA agents and everything. And he's a chemist. In the episode too, they show Walt's accolades on the wall for, all these different awards that he has. And yet here he is living, I guess, in a sense, modestly and just being a high school chemistry teacher. Even the pilot episode, it certainly got me very interested in what was going to be going on and how this guy furthers down to the path of being a meth kingpin. So, I personally found the first season to be not as a thing of it being a very slow certainly not being one of misunderstood or being weird why anybody would get into it. If the first season isn't good, I don't watch beyond that. Like for me, I couldn't get into Parks and Rec. Even though I had a bunch of people recommending it to me, I tried getting into it. I watched, I think, the first season or so, I certainly tried like the first couple episodes and everything. I couldn't get into that. I dropped it. I didn't go on. And everybody's like, well, you got to give it a chance, man. No. Sorry. If it doesn't win me, a little bit out the gate, I'm generally not going to stay. I'm not going to invest that time just for it to eventually get good. I need something to lure me into it. Nerdy Neo says, only the bigots hate Mace Windu. The war continues between you and Melee K. Melissa Lord said, the species were the diversity, but also Sam Jackson and Billy D, Leia and Mon Mothma too. Leftism is a mental disease. Yes. And that's just it. That is everything in the galaxy. Star Wars is made up of so much different things going on, from, the aliens to the creatures to everything that you just pointed out here and what we pointed out too. That's everything.
What was that Saul show that you liked?
Oh, Better Call Saul, the spinoff series. That was a spinoff series too. And like I've said it again and again, a character I never expected to carry a full series on his own. I didn't think what we saw initially was interesting enough, but I started watching it. I'm like, I was checking it out from the start. I'm like, okay, I think you have me here. And the first season proved to be fantastic. Melissa Lords does say Five Nights at Freddy's is a good game. I've never played it. I just know it is insanely popular.
It sounds like the story of my life. Five Nights at Freddy's.
I heard the creator's kind of based. So, Brandon Trent said, "Have you guys heard Michael Keaton didn't care about canceled Batgirl movie and only cared about the money?" Well, yeah, I didn't hear that, but that doesn't surprise me. He wanted to get paid. Nerdy News says she'd rather eat an oatmeal raisin cookie than say say one nice thing about Mace Windu. This is true. She does not like Mace Windu.
There's nothing wrong with oatmeal raisin cookies. They're far superior.
And Nerdy, that meme I shared out the other day, it started out kind of positive, but then it does have a bad ending for Mace. But I just wasn't sure, like, where it could go, like how people would take it. But yeah, so that was this freak. Oh shit. Close. Hang on. Let me get one more thing. I meant to go to. Oh, good thing I didn't have bookmarks up. Oh boy. Oh boy. I got some spicy stuff there. But yeah, some more silliness for sure. Melissa Lord said Five Nights at Freddy's reminds me of being a kid at Showbiz Pizza. Huh. Nerdy Neo said, I watched the first season of Better Call Saul and didn't care for it, but I've heard it gets really good, so I may give it another shot. I personally enjoyed it. I think from watching Breaking Bad and everything and then going into that series, I found it to be very fun and interesting. It kind of getting that background on somebody like Saul Goodman that I didn't expect to really like. I like the dynamic between him and his brother. It was kind of a interesting thing that I don't know. I'm always kind of a sucker for that sort of stuff, just because again, like I have my own younger brother, and it's just seeing how it gets portrayed for especially brothers and stuff in media. It's usually very antagonistic, and there was at least there was an underlying thing of some positivity, but man, it just ended up being nothing but bad between the two of them, sadly. But I thought all of what certainly gets explained and how old Jimmy McGill does go from trying to be this honest lawyer almost, maybe trying to use some of his little conniving ways to skirt the law, so to speak. But then just him transforming full on into Saul, I just enjoyed the show personally. Nerdy Neo is saying oatmeal raisin cookies are not real cookies, Hitman.
Hey. Yes.
We went over this already.
Yeah, and the polls prove the people proved that they were.
Brendan Trent says eventually Breaking Bad is a popular show. It has some really good villains: Tuco, Psychopath, Hector Salamanca, Silent Guy, and Gus, creepy mafia boss, aka the Chicken Man. Right. Like towards the end, I'm kind of iffy on it just because it does get like there's there's almost some weird fun to it early on, but it definitely just starts just delving more and more into the dark territories as the show goes on. It gets less of this almost goofy freaking former high school science teacher trying to do this whole meth kingpin thing, and it does just go this full dark, and it's sometimes kind of rough to get through that last season or so, but still I remember my brother and I the final season when it finally, because they did the whole like two-parter of the final season thing. When they dropped that whole second part, my brother and I binge watched those last episodes and everything. It was like, holy shit, that was insane. And it says Jesse Pinkman is a pretty funny side character when you start the show compared to season 5 where he becomes serious. That's what I'm saying. It's like once you get to that later season and everything, it's like, holy shit. But yeah, here was at least one funny little, and this is where they will end the Acolyte chat. Here's one more. Here's one other little thing really quick, which we won't go into another article, but this is kind of interesting that I found that from another Forbes article. Fans fear the Acolyte may be deleted entirely for a Disney tax write-off. Wouldn't surprise me if that ends up being the case. I mean, they got to make their money back somehow. Might as well be through some taxes.
I think joke's on us because we still have to get through Skeleton Crew. Well, Raging Rhino has to get through Skeleton Crew. I'm sorry.
He does. Poor bastard. Because we know he's going to do it. We know he's going to do it. Okay.
Static's going to make you.
I don't even think unless there's something that really just happens to pop up. But again, my nerdy home on X, she had this posted, a clip from How It Should Have Ended. Vid on the Acolyte being canceled is perfection. She's here. Let me just get. And this is kind of how we'll top off the Acolyte chatter.
No, done. We are. New direction. We are moving. Yes, never again. Cancelled. Goodbye.
Master, I assure you.
Your floppy lightsaber. Keep that, you may.
If you just give me another chance and $180 million, I can make this.
No.
Done we are. Nerdy Neo saying if they willowed the Acolyte, that'd be the best thing ever. You know, that's the funny thing, right? That's like what it's being compared to, is that they're giving a Star Wars series the Willow treatment. So it's because I mean the Willow, I know it has its fan base and everything, but it's not Star Wars level. So it's just rather something else that a show from such a franchise like Star Wars is getting just almost a whole. Don't pay attention to that. That's neither here nor there. Don't. Nothing to see here, people.
You move along.
Yep.
Nothing to see.
Nerdy Neo said, "Don't feel sorry for Rhino. His pain is self-inflicted." This is true. This is true. That's damn true.
Kind of like Brad too, man.
Oh Lord, howdy. Yeah, definitely self-inflicted there too. Oh boy.
Joke's on us.
Yes,
Static comes, tells us to do it.
But that is the Acolyte, everyone. Oh my God. It has ended. The pain is gone. And yes, I will take that as a victory. Small victory, but a victory nonetheless. And I am happy for that. Huh?
Or is it?
Or is it? Oh no.
There's some other big stuff that was going on this week other than the Acolyte. What else was it?
Ooh, I mean, did he have something specific in mind?
No, I thought maybe it was just the Acolyte, but
it was. I know it was mainly the Acolyte, and I did think it was funny how you tried to share that post with me from Jai Akib, and I'm blocked, even though I've never interacted with the guy.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said in Discord too. But I think I know why. It's because I follow like Raging Rhino, Grizzy,
what was it?
And United Spacers Alliance.
Which post was it about?
I don't know. You're the one that tried to send it to me. Oh, it was so in the Discord I could see it. It says, "I'm still not over just how perfect the lightsaber duels were in the Acolyte. Absolutely amazing choreography. Honestly, every duel in the show was nothing short of incredible."
Why are you blocked? Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Okay, so just to kind of get top. So like when I clicked on it, this is what I get. Like I couldn't see it. All it says is you are unable to view this post because this account owner limits who can view their post. And I'm like, who the hell is this? And I had to I think I can even switch it here really quick. I'll go over to my Fractured Filter gaming channel and see if I can see it there.
That's funny. I wonder if he has.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's all Jacob or Jacob as Tim from United Spacers Alliance calls him. He's certainly gone hard on this guy and just roasted the shit out of him. Oh, this is sorry, showing
But you can't pull it up.
Sorry, here it is. But yeah, I mean, this fight scene, this was so bad. But yeah, on my main account is blocked by this guy. Like I said, because I follow Rhino, because I follow Spacers Alliance, because I follow Grizzy. They've all roasted this guy in some way or another, and he's gotten butthurt over it. So he probably used a blockchain to make it so people couldn't, people like me, that just because I follow them can't see his posts. So, yeah, he thinks it.
But there was more to it, because I thought that it like I compared it to, well, was there? Yeah, maybe it was just that. So he posted that, and then I was like, did we not watch Revenge of the Sith? Did we not watch the KOTOR?
Even somebody points out the scenes from one of the I forgot which trailer that was. What they called it, but the basically the first starting of the war between the Jedi and Sith, where the Sith returned. They took back Korriban.
I didn't know you were blocked. But I missed the comment in Discord. That's funny. That makes me also sad that I'm not blocked. See, I need to start like causing waves. I need to start subscribing to.
I didn't even interact with the guy. It's only because
you followed Tim by proxy. You're also blocked.
Yeah, by proxy.
Once you pay him money. Blocked.
Oh, well, and I've shared Tim's live streams out and stuff like that. That's probably been part of it. But it's just funny that the guy went out of he either used the blockchain or went out of his way to block me. I don't know. I doubt. So a blockchain is basically they use it to kind of sift through a certain account to just auto block those people that follow that account. Yeah, or anything like that. They'll use it for different means. I only started hearing of all this weird shit thanks to Gamergate getting involved in all this shit, and that's when I first started hearing about these sort of things that you get blocked for by use of these different tools that Twitter has.
Well, I don't know what OG's doing and Tim's doing, because boy howdy does every shill tend to just block them. Taking notes, man. And they'll rightfully, and like OG, Laura absolutely calls them back out. Like, I'd say two words to this guy and I get blocked. Like, typical shield behavior when you get, it's like a ad hominem. It's like, you call them out in a debate, and then the only thing that they can do is just insult you.
Yeah.
Because like they know you're right. So they just revert to name calling. But
it was pretty funny.
Jacob, what's his name? Let's give him a
Jacob.
Give him a shout out at Jacob at what is it? Jacob? Where did I?
Was it Jacob?
Jacob Suggs.
JTIM Suggs.
JTIM okay. And then you got it's Rise of Palpatine, not Rise of Skywalker, by the way. That's funny.
I thought so too.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I missed that. All right. What else did you have?
I'll get into that in just a moment. Not gonna lie, Hishi makes the funniest parodies for every movie: Jurassic World, Avengers: Infinity War, and Batman v Superman. What about Wukong? I don't know if I want to get. God, that. I had my post about Sun Wukong this week. I don't know. I'm still waiting for things to kind of drop more. Brandon Trent says, have you guys discussed Lord of the Rings War of Rohirrim anime trailer? I know I saw that recently, but no, that was not on our plans to discuss that potentially. Maybe we can. I got one thing in particular that we are going to go into. That both Hitman and I first posted and he didn't pay attention, and then he posted the link too. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I saw the trailer the other day too. They're kind of just like Lord of the Rings has really good animation, like Batman Gotham Knight for an anime. Nerdy Neo's also, yeah, the animation looks great. I'm worried about the plot though. Ishii's great, but pitch meetings is better. I am not familiar with pitch meetings. I haven't checked. I mean, it's been a long time since I even checked out how it should have ended. Like it was my nerdy home. She just happened to post that clip. I just kind of chuckled. I was like, yeah, that's about right. I mean, right? Nerdy Neo saying, how much of a loser do you have to be to go out of your way to block someone you've never interacted with? I've never even blocked someone I didn't like. I don't block either. There may have been accounts I've muted, but that's just so I don't have to see it because other people follow them. But I mean, that's not blocking. That's just, just keeping them on a mute. Blocking is just silly. But even then, like, it's next to like 2 or 3 accounts. Anyway, on to this. This just happened to stumble onto my YouTube feed. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, where is this coming from? And I thought the title itself was very interesting, and especially who's involved. As we're kind of we'll continue on with a little bit more Star Wars here. But yeah, this video popped up which is title, Disease Took My Voice, Took It to God, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, James Arnold Taylor.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And I was initially holding back from posting it in Discord, and I thought I'd just bring it up. And I was like, screw it. I'll just throw it in there just so, it doesn't get reposted if it happens to come across Hitman's desk. It did, and he still posted it anyways. But
did I miss it? I guess I missed something.
Yeah, mine was just a little bit above yours. Anyway, those.
From Obi-Wan Kenobi to Willy Wonka and most everyone in between, James Arnold Taylor was a master of hundreds of voices. Then he was silenced. Doctor's orders. He had to stop speaking. That's when a man who played so many other characters had to find out who he really was.
That's something that is something I couldn't imagine happening. That's just insane, especially when you make your career out of using your voice, manipulating stuff like that. My God.
Decades, James Arnold Taylor has been the voice of many beloved characters, including one of his favorites. Hello there. Obi-Wan Kenobi in the animated Star Wars series.
I think he's been a very excellent, and I believe he voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Gennady Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
I'm such a dweeb. I just saw it in Discord. You turkey, you beat me to it.
Yeah, of course I did.
This guy.
But yeah, I give it to him. He's done an excellent voice for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sometimes I think of his voice when Obi-Wan does come up at times.
I knew ever since I was a little kid I wanted to do voices in cartoons. I was very much pursuing that. And I had some opportunities to match celebrities. And so some of my first work was doing voice doubling for people like Michael J. Fox and, well, wait a second, Doc. Whoa, this is heavy. And Christopher Lloyd, Great Scott Marty. I started doubling people and then got the attention of agents and stuff and was able to get into a full-time career as a voice actor.
James' career soon took off, and he achieved his dream of voicing cartoons.
In a world where one man does all the voices. Totally awesome. Yabba-dabba-doo.
I was the voice of, everything from Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, Fred Flintstone at the time, Leonardo the Ninja Turtle, this video game series, Ratchet.
That I didn't know about was that he voiced Leonardo the Ninja Turtle. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Clank, and I was in full bore in those productions being done right then. And I woke up one day and I had no voice.
The Taylors discovered black mold in their new home.
Went to the doctor, got some blood tests, and realized there were 6 different types of mold in my bloodstream, and one of them being black mold, Stachybotrys, which is the very dangerous one. And I had been, having everything from brain fog, memory loss, all these things, but particularly that my voice was going. So I remember very vividly on that day, it was February 13th, 2005, and I went and just got back from the doctor, and he says, "You got to stop speaking." And I said, "God, please don't let this be the..."
Gotta say, that's kind of crazy, because I think that was around the time of the Clone Wars going.
Was it?
Or before it started up. Hang on, let me double check that. I know some of us joke, it's like, oh no, actually the Day of Reckoning was... let's see. Oh no, 2008, so short, a few years before. That's crazy, because then he comes back and does the voice of Kenobi throughout that series.
The worst day of my life.
James and his wife felt overwhelmed and relied on their faith to carry them through.
We were in the process of adopting our daughter at the time. So we've got this house with this black mold. We're in a lawsuit with people with the house. We're adopting a child from China, and I can't speak, and I'm a successful voice actor. So those couple months in, we were like going, wow, I don't know if it can get much worse than that. And so we were really just on our knees every day.
The Taylors trusted God as James began extensive therapy to regain his voice.
I was going to doctors, and they all wanted to put me on various medications, some indefinitely, and they said that my voice would probably not be the same, it'd be less than. So I took a very proactive approach, and a holistic approach too. Changed everything about my diet, my exercise, the way I lived, went on a whole foods diet, and just really did the best I could to cleanse my system of the mold. I had this wonderful gift that God gave me since I was a child to do these voices and to mimic them, but I wasn't doing it right. And he needed to correct that. And he needed to correct it through something that was shocking to my system in every possible way. But I learned and retrained my voice to be even stronger than it was before.
The Taylors eventually moved out of their house. As they completed the adoption for their new daughter, James was going through the paperwork when something caught his eye.
I see her birthday is February 13th, 2005. So the day that I thought was the worst day of my life, God made the best day of my life. He turned it around. And what he showed me is that he's always listening. And the things that we think are our hardest journeys are there to build us up for the next journey and to make us stronger for the next hurdle that's going to come up in life. I worked in Star Wars. I've worked in some of the biggest movie franchises. I've worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. And yet I'm so grateful that I get to wake up in a normal home with a wife and a daughter that love me, and a peace that cannot come from any of the stuff I get from my work, but can only come from the love of Christ and family and just true love.
Fully relying on God has inspired James to make a film.
I've had a passion for storytelling, and I love the parable of the prodigal son. So I recently wrote a movie called Hidden Blessings about a painter that's kind of a reclusive painter, and a documentary film crew comes in to document his life, and they stumble across the story of the prodigal son in the process of it.
James is thankful God restored his voice and enjoys using it to share the love of Jesus.
I'm a high school dropout. I came from a very broken home, and I've been blessed with this amazing career. And then he gave me the gifts to be able to share that with people. And so I've always been very open about my faith in my career. I've tried to be a light in a dark place in Hollywood and such as well, and just be open. I love Jesus. Jesus saved my life. So I'm going to say it. I'll say it in...
That part does always kind of, that part really caught my attention, that the way he does call out Hollywood like this, and he still keeps having his job as far as I could see with like IMDb and everything. Like he's still doing, he's still been appearing for, as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then I guess even now has, oh no, he's doing a voice of a character in Batman Caped Crusader. So if anything, he might still kind of keep it on the DL, but this video, I mean, It's at 146K views. Not blown up, but still, I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah, exactly. Dark, a dark place in Hollywood. Trying to be a beacon of light in that dark place in Hollywood. So that's an interest. You know, I hope he keeps up, keeps getting. Let's finish this off.
Whatever voice you want me to say it in.
Thank you so much, James, for your just transparency.
Okay. All right, so that was that. Like I said, very interesting choice of words there. I'm trying to think.
I have no idea, honestly. Like, I guess I didn't know that he did the voice acting for Kenobi. So when I originally saw it, I was like, oh, this would be interesting. And then to learn that, you know, just a story, like I had no idea. I can't believe you found it first. Good on you, because I just happened to find it on YouTube. Like I wasn't even.
Yeah, that's what it was for me too. Is that it just happened to come across my feed, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I said, Batman Caped Crusader.
That's interesting. But
he's still active. I mean, he's still going. Yeah. But again, yeah, if this video, if it picks up too, I hope he does it, because yeah, as Meteor Advocate Timon, he said the G word. Disney won't like that.
Yeah.
And he'll soon be blacklisted. And Melissa Lord, unfortunately, you're right, Timon. Hopefully he stays in there. I mean, that'll certainly cause a big ruckus. And we have the whole Gina Carano thing going on right now with her lawsuit against Disney. That would certainly be an interesting one to throw in there if it's something like he's a man of God and gets the axe. Like, oh, why, Disney? Why would you do that? Disney, why? You know, evil part of me kind of hopes it happens, just because it could add more fuel to the fire of Disney. But you know, I thought it was the video itself was very interesting, and you know, it is this kind of funny, those little things in life that kind of give you those odd moments of clarity, odd moments of signs of, you know, I'm potentially on that right path of getting certain things done. But what about you, sir? Because you also grabbed it. You also must thought it was worthy of us talking about it tonight.
Yeah, no, I just think it's, you know, it's just interesting to, just as a Christian, man, just like I said, find the clip and, you know, how it's connected to stars, but just to hear his story, man, just like how, you know, up with his home and like, you know, his livelihood, and, you know, and it says like, you know, him and his wife were on their knees, you know, praying, and just to see how, you know, his faith in God brought him through just a terrible time. He said, like, please don't let this be. Well, I think what got me was he was like, you know, please don't let this be the worst day of my life. Right. The day that he loses his voice is the day that he gets to adopt his daughter from China, which, you know, I mean, that's amazing. Adopting a child is amazing in itself. Right. But, you know, going through this and wanting to do it. And it just shows kind of just, you know, like, you know, if somebody's diagnosed with cancer, like, will God heal them of that cancer? Maybe not. Maybe he will, right? But it's just, you know, when you go through these hard times in, you know, in your life as a Christian, it's like, it just reminds you to be thankful, right? Because like, I haven't lost my voice. By the grace of God, I've not gone through these things. Maybe I'll go through, you know, something in my life, but it just reminds you just to stay, you know, close in prayer and just give God thanks for, you know, because he did deliver this guy from, I mean, can you imagine? Like, yeah, he probably losing his voice. I mean, is there, you know, could he have found another job in acting? Probably not. Like, it just, you know, if that's his livelihood, like,
well,
what do you do,
especially
right?
a voice, because yeah, no matter what you're doing, acting or voice acting, you're using your voice one way or another, and to do performance and everything, he needs that to inflect. I mean, yes, there are now certainly some actors and actresses out there that have made a career being effectively the deaf person, or the, you know, one without the voice, doing all that stuff, but No, it's a kicker. And I kind of took this interestingly because too, it's like I don't know if I've brought it up on this show. I've briefly mentioned it to somebody on X when they were making a comment about, if there was something you wished you could have done for a career path, what would have been? And certainly for myself as a kid, as a very young kid, I've been attracted to the idea of voice acting.
Yeah.
And I think that's also kind of why I like doing this sometimes, is because I'm using my voice and I do sometimes goof around and I'll change up my voice and everything like that. And I even unfortunately I did not pursue that, and I kind of understood where he was coming from a little bit when he said that as a kid that's what he wanted to do. And that was that's you do find certain links or kinship or something like that to those sort of stories hearing from people, because like, oh yeah, you think you're the odd man out sometimes, because everybody would normally be, there's always the fireman, the act, or just like the general actor, or the police, the person wants to be the police, whatever, the policeman,
Right.
and all that sort of stuff. But it's not often you get that the person wants to be behind another character, voicing them, giving them a voice. Because I always enjoyed performances from people like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, and stuff, because they threw their voices, they portrayed different things, different people, and stuff like that. And I was so attracted to that.
Yeah.
So I kind of got where he was coming from that perspective. Just unfortunately, I haven't lived the career path myself. But like it is too, it's like I think also for the full thing of it, it's like, sure, you have any kind of a moment that really kicks you in the nethers, and the point to be is to not dwell on it, to not overly let it take you over, but then to find a strength of any kind to pick yourself up and keep hustling forward. Because like he said, he who would have thought that, as he pursued this path, that on that very day he thought was the worst day of his life,
well,
in a life that blessed him greatly.
What else is interesting is like, this happened to him, and you could do one of two things. You can do, and I think anybody who's a Christian and believes in God has the potential, there's the potential to have done this, but like you can blame God, like, God, why have you allowed this to happen to me?
Right, you get very angry and spiteful and stuff like that,
right?
But he took a different way.
Or do this, because at the end of the day, and I think I said this on the show, like, God's not the author of evil, right? Evil is in this world because of man's choice. But again, like, God can use things, terrible things in your life, for your good, right? So who's to say that this happens to James Arnold Taylor and his faith is strengthened by it? So anyways, I mean, there's a verse that's Romans 8:28 says, he works all things for the good of those that he loves and are called to his purpose and whatnot. And that verse specifically, people take that out of context, meaning like, oh, well, God's only going to do good things for you. Well, that verse has it's not like an earthly perspective, it's an eternal perspective. And I'll give you an example and we can move on. So like if God gives you or I cancer tomorrow, right? Or not, well, let's say not God, let's say you and I get cancer tomorrow, and you tomorrow through getting cancer come to Christ, right? God calls you and then you come to Christ and whatnot. Like the terrible event in your life has now had eternal benefits or has eternal consequences of the good, because through that cancer you've come to God, right? Or you found faith in Christ. And so that's kind of what that verse means. So like, and that's the example I was given with him. It's like, yeah, he may have been a Christian before, but he could have walked away. He could have been like, God, you've done this, you've allowed this to happen.
Yeah, you did this to me.
No, but he chose the opposite and continued to pray, and I think through that, like, God got him out of it. We don't know, but in my belief as a Christian, like, God saw him through it. So
Oh, and that's his perspective on it as well. And, he was.
I do have something after this, and I didn't post this, and I don't know if you planned on bringing this up, but what is this? Have we talked about Black Myth Wukong? What is this game?
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that.
Did you? Okay, I didn't see you post it on Discord at all, so I didn't know if you were bringing it up. You did. You posted. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just finish it up. Certainly, like it is too. Like why I wanted to also bring this up is that it's a positive story.
Oh, for sure.
While yes, I'm very coming off of our Acolyte discussion. I'm very positive about that, but I feel like a little more actual humanization, a little more some real positivity in a life. While yes, a famous one at that, but we've all, in some degrees, some of us have enjoyed his voice work, the entertainment that he's put for us. So yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to go off of for this. But yeah,
good positivity. More so positive than the
not real positivity, not spiteful positivity, where it's like, yes, burn Disney, burn. But yeah. Brandon Tran had said, I saw James Arnold Taylor's video 2 days ago. He's great as Tidus from Final Fantasy 9. I believe that was 10. But I would disagree. That was kind of I was not a fan of his Tidus work. And he said, speaking of voice actors, Tom Kane is a legendary voice actor too. I was sad when he too retired late 2020 because he had a stroke and couldn't speak. Oh man, that sucks. I think something like Tim Curry had the same sort of instance of where he had to retire from acting because of a stroke. But man, what a performer too. Jeez. Nerdy Neo said, I didn't know all of this about him. I like him a lot more now. All right, let's go. So pumped. Meteor Havoc Timon said, oh, wait, we got that one. And hello, Joseph Ricci. How's it going? Saying hi. And all right, we got your Dark Place in Hollywood earlier. Melissa Lord said, that's great. Tell the Holly weirdos, devil worshippers that Christ is king. And we got Timon's comment too. Melissa Lords as well. Joseph Ricci said, Melissa, it's worse than that actual. It's a deep, dark rabbit hole that I do not say to go down if you want to stay a positive individual. Let's say that. Because oh boy, oh no. You start getting into some bad territory there. Melissa Lord said, I know politics and it's worse than even Alex Jones says, LOL, the world is run by commies who hate God. Commies is the word to use. Yeah, it's the word. The safe word. Joseph Ricci said, Meteor, they don't blacklist anymore. Things are different and more severe than that. Depends on who it is, yeah. But I mean, some of it does come down to blacklisting. It just comes down to just like, and it could just come down to full on termination. But then with that termination,
or what the British are doing about trying to extradite Americans for opinion.
Yeah, good freaking luck with that one. You can eat it. You can eat it, Brit cucks. And then Joseph Ricci said, Meteor, once you understand the who's who, you understand how things work. Oh, Joseph, what do you know? Oh boy. Oh, shucks. Well, sorry to see you were leaving. We usually wait to get the comments after we get through things. Sometimes when there are things that pop up, we'll get into it. But thanks for dropping by. Thank you, Joseph. Brandon Trent said, James Arnold Taylor's story reminds me of when Tobey Maguire had to deal with not getting in more movies because he was blacklisted for a while. What was he blacklisted for?
Being a terrible Spider-Man.
How dare you? Peter Advocate Timon said, adopting is great unless you end in marrying your daughter. Oh no. Marrying your daughter and not end up from Hollywood. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Brendan Trent said James Arnold Taylor's real life story gives me hope that voice actors are hardest working people. Yeah, that's the kind of the funny thing. Like I've been kind of like a little cheesed on some people that will talk down about voice actors. I think voice actors are phenomenal. I think they sometimes have to do a lot more for a performance because they have to really inflect through their voice of what that character's doing and I'll say I'm biased because like that was the career path I wanted to go in. But I feel like a lot needs to be done with a person's voice to really do a great character. Either just from the sound, the performance, and just how they, like I said, just the inflection of what they put into that character with every little thing that's going on from action to just regular dialogue and everything. And if you want some like examples of some great voice acting, in my opinion, there's certainly, from like the Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2, just a scene of Kain and Raziel at the pillars having a conversation between the two. Like you almost get that these two characters are, they're there. They're and they were like, I think they were in the booths together, but regardless of that, like they could be putting on a live action performance. To me, that's just how good some of that stuff is. And there's some cheesy, bad voice acting for sure. Biggest example I would give is the original Resident Evil back in the day. Oh my God. You want some early, like the old FMV sequences too, and then just the dialogue throughout the game itself. I mean, we all still love You Are Almost a Jiggle Sandwich. Fantastic. Cheesy as hell, but fantastic. Okay, so that is that. That is all that everybody else was then talking with each other, which is always cool to see. We did get Alice _4228 over on the Twitch side following the channel. Thank you very much, Alice, over there. Greatly appreciate it. Because yes, for everybody that wants to know, we are live not only here on YouTube, but on Rumble, Odyssey, Kick, and Twitch. We are everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. We're in a lot of places. Because you never know when one's going to just kind of give you the axe. And especially helps for when we want to do Stargate Watch. Anywho, Black Myth Sun Wukong. You wanted to talk about this game.
Yeah, have we talked about this before?
No, we have not. It has not been a point of conversation yet. At least I don't think it has.
I've just briefly pulled it up, and the graphics actually look pretty. Well, I want to get your thoughts on it to see what you thought, but I pulled up a couple of videos on them. I don't know who develops it. I don't know. It gave me very Elden Ring-esque vibes.
So people were first kind of comparing it to a Souls-like game.
Okay.
From my understanding, it is not.
Okay.
It is an action based sort of game, but it's not in the same vein as an Elden Ring. But I don't have too much, unfortunately. I can unbookmark that. Because I mean, it's gotten a lot of, I think it's kind of gotten a little too much praise.
You do.
I do. There are people that are considering this some weird win.
I'll put something in Discord. I don't know if it'll pull up.
Yeah, if you have something specific, please do.
It's not really it's just, I don't know, it's not really a trailer, but it's like a little bit of gameplay. I did it wrong. I put it in the general chat. Oh crap.
So I'm trying to find, okay. For the game, it dropped, and it dropped with big numbers. Cabrutus here had some of those numbers from the Steam charts. Most played players, 24-hour peak, 1,410 players. The 24-hour peak was 1,443. 570. Great numbers. I get it. And he says Black Myth Sun Wukong is already a huge success. Developers take note on this. Making a good game and not bending the knee to DEI consultancy is the best thing to do. Stay faithful to your vision and do not be afraid of the media. Trust the gaming community, because yes, there was allegedly some of that going on. At least they were trying to influence this game, and there were some hack journalists that I think at IGN that were trying to pan the game for not being quote unquote diverse enough in terms of the characters being of different racial backgrounds. But it further says, today we celebrate another victory in this war because today gamers decided to vote with their wallets. The key is in our hands. Never forget that. Me, being the cynical shit that I am, I came along and I did quote tweet it, and I personally said, that's great and all, but can anyone confirm the game actually being good, devoid of any propaganda? And that doesn't have to be the DEI ESG bullshit, because remember who this is, again, I'll top it off on it. So just because some journos got butt hurt doesn't mean anything. They get upset over one big tittied anime character. And how trustworthy are these numbers? This is China after all, because it is developed by a Chinese company coming from China. That is part of my skepticism of this game, that I don't trust their numbers. They've been known to inflate either through unlegitimate means. And let's face it, just because it's not DEI, ESG, leftist bullshit doesn't mean there isn't commie propaganda tier shit in the game. That's a possibility. And you are so narrow focused on one thing that it wouldn't surprise me that you completely miss that sort of thing altogether.
Right.
Now, that could be something where it'd benefit me by going into the game and checking it out just to find that sort of shit. But I don't want, and this is the thing. And Cult of Carl, he actually kind of brings up, because Cabrutus did respond. He said, yes, it's a good game. I've played it. I can't confirm. He did post his part 1. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, even though I said I was going to. I just kind of was being a cheeky shit, saying thanks for being a guinea pig. Melee K and I went back and forth on this because like it is, we're both kind of in that camp of it all seems a bit weird. She said, I'm sure the game is fine, but planting the flag in it as the ultimate win is a bizarre thing to me. It doesn't seem stellar, no pun intended. And I mean, oops. Where was that? Shit. Got it. And I mean, the angle about propaganda is there, just not Western propaganda. And Cult of Carl kind of brought it up, I think through here. Because like he says, at the end of the day, one way or another, you're funding the basically the place that is basically supplying the funds for that sort of propaganda in movies, TV, and video games. They're the ones that, are behind some of these companies that are propping this sort of shit up. So yeah, here it is. That's why I've always been saying, Kay, especially because the DEI they fight against is funded and pushed by China, the catch-22. So that's why certainly, like, I'm very iffy on this game. I am waiting for the reviewer Synthetic Man to do his review of the game, because he'll potentially catch more shit than regular people will. And I'm going to see where that's going to go. Otherwise,
who's the developer? Is it a Souls game or no?
No.
I couldn't find who developed it.
Static said it's kind of a hack and slash with Souls difficulty bosses, kind of, sort of. So very difficult bosses, but it's a hack and slash. So think like Devil May Cry or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I could probably then a hack and slash. So kind of also to for anybody that remembers Onimusha back in the day. That was a game that was a bit of a hack and slash, light RPG mechanics too, but had difficult bosses. So yeah, that's where some of that comes in. Let me check and see who did.
It just gives me Elden Ring vibes. I don't know why.
I think that's just like part of the open world.
Yeah.
And the look and stuff like that. Because it's kind of.
Will you be buying it?
No.
No. Okay. Any particular
unless it's on like a major sale or something like that. Otherwise, I don't have any.
Promoting ESG or DEI in this, you know?
Well, according to Cabrutus, no, they don't. Okay. But like I said, that's not the only shit we have to be, cautious of. Yes, that's been a big major thing as of late, but that's not the only thing that you should be alert to. But yeah, so here's the site. Let me try and see the overview. Diverse levels explored, and this is probably just going to talk about the game itself, huh? So about us, let's go to that. Had to sneeze. But yeah, game science. But yeah, like you see, a lot of it does have the Chinese. I can turn it to English. I'll get some things. Only do games that impress yourself. Understand working game science. Like I said, I'm just very skeptical because yes, again, like it was to Carl's point, China is a country that funds a lot of the DEI initiative programs here to effectively weaken a nation. That's the whole kind of point of that stuff, is to weaken, and they're more than happy to push it on us, and they've been shown to, yes, even as Chiefsters pointed out, they've had some very based moments, but that's more towards their own people, which, hey, absolutely prop up your people. That's what we should be doing for America. We should be propping up our people, but we are not. We have failed that epically. And we are happy to just chow down the slop that is given. And yeah, China helps keep that up. And among other shady fuckers that are out there. But yeah, so like I said, let me even kind of check the Steam charts, see just what that is looking at right now. So again, and this is the thing, single player games do tend to have a dip. But I feel like this is kind of averaging out to more of what you would have expected when the game first initially released, if not maybe a little bit more than that, maybe the $500,000 sort of marker. But, and yes, China's a very big place. They've got and if it's accounting for all regions, absolutely. I don't know, like to me, some of the numbers had seemed kind of fishy. Certainly to, hey, prop up a game day one. But does it hold? And I mean, is it just happen to be the day we happen to be checking it? Let's see, even like the last 48 hours, kind of still showing some of the same stuff here. Okay, so even the last 48 hours, so it's peaking at, of course, it's getting peaks and valleys. They're averaging probably at that one, but that's probably when it's daytime or morning or whatever for China and that side of the world for players to be playing. This is playing 21 minutes ago. But yeah, like I said, I'm still very.
China can come out with a game like this, but we can't come out with a good game on, stateside.
That's then the funny thing about that. It definitely shows a difference of cultures and what's being developed and what's being promoted and stuff like that.
I think it's also just just a passion. But we've talked about it, man. You know, passion and whatnot. It's just sad. On our own, we should be sad, you know.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So
it's unfortunate for what's happened to our own entertainment industry, but and it's just unfortunate that we're like, and I know other people have talked about it too, that we're no longer the leaders of what the standard should be. We're now following other people.
Right.
And that is what's bugged me, certainly with when it comes to like Western animated shows and stuff like that. They've done nothing but that now mimic and copy anime, Japanese anime in particular. Everybody's kind of copying off of Japan when I much preferred the whole thing of everybody had a unique art style, especially here in like in the US. Like, people were coming up with certainly different and unique art styles for what they were producing, for way characters were designed. I mean, look at The Simpsons, look at Family Guy, and then other more like movies with like heavy metal and stuff, like, and just some of the animated cartoons from the likes of Disney, and just, you know, what they used to actually produce, which was, some of it was just some stellar animation at times, and just fascinating art design for their worlds and everything like that. But it's no longer there. And now, apparently got games like this that are leading a greater charge than we certainly can, other than the next Call of Duty 10 or whatever, you know, or coming soon GTA 6, which they, you know, I think we've already gone over that they're, you know, prepping people for the potential of worse to come. But it'll be all again, much like Star Wars, the bigots' faults. So, yeah. I mean, I leave it to you folks out there. You make your choices. For me, myself, I got very wary. Like, the game, I think I remember seeing some of it and thinking, whoa, that looks really cool. But as time gone on, it went to the back of my mind. And as it was now getting ready for release, I got a lot more skeptical as time had gone on.
Because is it Japan or China doing it?
China.
Is it because they're propping up their own? Is it because it's the Chinese doing it, or we can't seem to get
it's part of the fact that the Chinese doing it, and they're also very notorious for being basically asset thieves.
Yeah.
They've basically taken games like Team Fortress 2 and stuff like that and repurposed it in their own country. And it's like, this is kind of called, what the fuck are you going to do about it, sort of thing.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it could very well be a very fantastic, fascinating game. I've talked about this before. I've been an early adopter of some slop that I just regret. I fear that this would be a game I would just probably end up regretting.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a thought. So I'm being extra cautious. I would much rather, you know, play, stream, or whatever, a game that I'm much more familiar with and I like and enjoy. That way, then I feel like I can, you know, be much more positive, certainly, while playing the game, and, you know, leave whatever conversations happen to come up. And we have also, and that's what's fun about doing that. So, yeah, like I said, I'll still have to check out some of the gameplay just to see what it's at. So, yeah.
I probably won't be buying it. You bring up good points. Why give China any more of our money?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts on the whole Sun Wukong stuff.
But you did post another thing. Did you want to go over it? Is it Soul Reaver? Is that the?
Oh, I don't know if I. Yeah, that
Okay.
I saw. I might want to go into the other thing that I posted first,
Okay.
but let me get into the chat really quick here. Dan Blackroyd, hello, how's it going, sir? He said, I get that, but I also don't get why these actors would pigeonhole themselves into one type of work. They are all actors and should be able to work voice and physical live action. Oh yeah, I do get that, and there are a lot of them that do still get into the live action stuff too. Again, going to the legacy of Kane, Simon Templeman, he has done live action acting as well. He hasn't been just a voice actor. I can't. He's kind of the main guy that I've generally followed and kept an eye. Oh, David Hayter. Take that, take him for what you will. He's done his own live action stuff here and there. He did for the Metal Gear 4 intro, which Liquid Blake, you should probably know about that. And he did Guyver back in the day with, was that no, he did a sequel, I think. He wasn't in the one with Mark Hamill. But yeah, so you know, there have been other actors that have gone into more than just that, but you know, if you like something, you know, why you don't feel the need to go outside of it. I get it. You know, if you're kind of comfortable in a certain zone of doing things, yeah. Not everybody likes to be on a camera. It's kind of a different thing when you are on camera versus getting to put on a performance with your voice. So, but I do, yeah, like. Probably branching out helps your versatility a lot more, not just for being an actor, but then like, you know, kind of getting an idea of how you can portray a character beyond, you know, just being in that booth. I mean, that was probably something that that did help out Hamill a bit, was that, you know, if you heard anything about his time portraying the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, he was very known for being very animated and almost acting it all out himself in the booth. So that you know, those sort of things probably help. Yeah. So Static had mentioned the hack and slash. Nerdy Neo said it's Souls-like, but not a Souls game. Static, it's a commie game. Meteorographic Timon, we lost a lot of the classic voice actors here in Brazil. The voice of Scooby-Doo, Popeye, and Alf died in 2021. Oh, dude, rip. The voice of Wolverine and Obi-Wan in 22. Yeesh. And this year we lost the voice of Magneto. Damn. There's been I've been catching some voice actors too out there. I don't know the actress's name, but this is a Japanese voice actress. She did Ghost in the Shell, the main character for that. I mean, I know I'm gonna really wonder what the hell they're gonna do when oh god, my brain is not firing correctly, and I'm terrible with names.
I'm not good with them either.
I always have to apologize to people at work. I'm like, just give me time. It'll take me time, but I'll eventually get there. But it's gonna be a curious thing when Masako Nozawa, who's the voice of Goku, has been the voice of Goku since the start. When she does pass away, that's gonna be a really like, well, holy shit, because they did lose their original Bulma. She passed away a while ago. But like, it is Masako Nozawa, she's been the voice for Goku in Japan since its inception, and voiced the whole Son family practically. So that'll be a real kick. Because I personally switched over to the Japanese original for Dragon Ball in particular, and because I've loved that series for so long, I know that's gonna be a hit. That's gonna be a hit for sure for me. Okay, let's see. Nerdy Neo says it's not open world. Oh, okay, it's not open world. My mistake. So probably more zoned out or something, I guess. And I don't think you have crazy amounts of gear to collect. All right. Like I should watch Kabrutus's gameplay of what he's done so far. I just haven't. Brendan Tran said, speaking of games, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle dropped a release date trailer this week. Oh boy. Oh boy. I want to get into some nuttiness because I got some journos being retarded. Brandon Tran said, apparently new Indiana Jones game will also be on PS5. Excuse me. Even though I thought the game was going to be Xbox exclusive. I didn't hear any of that initially. That's kind of news. I didn't realize it had been considered an Xbox exclusive originally. Filter's turning into Greg. Oh no. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. But hey, you know, you gotta be cautious of these things, man. You gotta be cautious. This has been the only game I've been looking forward to for like 3 years, but I'm waiting for the Xbox release. Oh, okay. You know, I'm not taking away anybody, you know, saying that neither which way. It's just like, for me, this is just how I'm viewing it. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and, you know, protest or stop people. So it's like, I'm just very skeptical of things. That's all. Yeah, the Guyver, or the guy is the Guyver 2, as Black Red points out. Then Liquid Blake says, big stars with very little talent in the field can steal the roles in voice acting. They would never try to do the reverse of that because that's the money. Voice actors aren't treated as real actors. That's very true. They are not. But I think that's been thanks to things like conventions and stuff like that. And certainly the one a positive for a thing like the internet is it's helped kind of give more of a, no pun intended, a voice for the voice actors to kind of be a little more recognized or heard about beyond just like people trying to catch credits and stuff like that, for the people that really like deep dive into who's who. And yeah, just kind of the social media platforms, that's kind of the benefits to those sort of things, because then they can really kind of rally their fan bases in some way, or at least kind of get the followings going, and then that's how they get more known. Helps probably for getting gigs and stuff like that. So while I absolutely hate and loathe social media most of the time, there's some positives to that too. He says they need to change that perception. That's why Chris Pratt is getting cast as every voice for an animated movie. Has he? Yeah, so I haven't been paying attention to all of the recent stuff going on out there, so I didn't. Certainly this week has been really just kind of just relegated to just the madness of the Acolyte. But I should be doing better to keep an eye out on these things. And then says, as amazing as Ghibli is for the animation work, they always miscast the English voice dubs. I've always found, voice dubbing has always been a very tricky thing to pull off, it seems, to get the right cast, to get the kind of right casting director behind it all. I wish that could be not streamlined, but certainly like taking more care for the Western side, because it really just seems like it, like you say, there's miscastings. There's been like the few animes out there that I would say were very well done for voice cast. I wouldn't say Dragon Ball was one of them. I would say like Cowboy Bebop was very well casted, and Outlaw Star was very well casted. The original Mobile Suit Gundam series was very well casted and acted out. So there's been the few that I'm like, I'll actually listen to the English dub, but otherwise I usually go OG. I go for the original. I go for, the source basically. And that, usually that's the Japanese cast. I'm not, and like some people don't like reading subtitles. I don't mind it. In fact, that's kind of what always helped my ability to kind of read a little bit faster at times, is because I was so used to trying to keep up with subtitles. So yeah, they definitely could help with the perception of things. But at the same time, you know, it runs that risk. And it doesn't Ghibli, I don't think they handle it themselves. It's usually handled, I think it's kind of handled by Disney, isn't it? When they're porting it out to the West. I remember somebody like back in the day just being like, no, fuck the release of this one because Ghibli they do the English voices here by Disney. I'm probably mistaken on that, but I thought that was kind of how it was handled by a third party, but not in-house. Always happy to be corrected. But yeah. Here is the other thing I wanted to go into. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Dan Blackrow said they used to have a distribution deal with Disney for the Western market, but not sure it's still like that. Yeah, neither am I necessarily. And I need to watch some more of Miyazaki's work. The main one that I've seen is Princess Mononoke. I need to go back and I need to watch more of his work because I just know he just does, fantastic stuff. I just have not seen all of them. All of their movies that have been done under Ghibli. Anywho.
I'm so mad that we just can't come up with like any good games. Kind of out here doing Black Myth Wukong and we get freaking Starfield.
Oof, right. Well, if you don't hate journalists as much as I do, here, let me give you a helping hand. On your way to that path of disliking games journalists, especially PC Gamer. Oh, they said it'd be particularly stupid, especially at least. I mean, for clickbait, it's clickbait. But we'll kind of see the rest of the article. But our everybody's favorite pointy-eared superhero, and especially for video game titles. But yeah, from PC Gamer, watch a latex-clad billionaire punch out poor people in the debut gameplay trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow. Hey man, can you tell me, has Batman gone out of his way to beat up homeless people and poor people?
No.
No? Are you sure? Because I mean, this is telling me otherwise.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong.
So he doesn't. Okay, so he doesn't beat up poor people. Is he a fascist though?
No.
Okay.
But if you ask George Lopez, he'll tell you that he is.
Right. Rage bait. Oh, these journos know nothing better. But yeah, Static isn't wrong here. Because I'm gonna guess. Like it was just on this alone just made me particularly laugh. It got but it got people. It didn't get me because what did I do? I immediately archived this bitch, so they would not get my click necessarily. So I at least got the archive on this. But yes, they go into it. We got our first proper look at the upcoming VR game at tonight's opening night live showcase at Gamescom. Yes. For anyone that wasn't quite keeping up, and I had barely kept up because these game conventions or whatever the hell you call them anymore have been generally nothing but shite. And I don't even know if we'd gone over any trailers from last week. I think it was mostly this week this was going on. I wasn't paying a great deal of attention. But this at least was something, like I said, that crept up. I thought was kind of funny. And let's see what they actually do say to see if it does verify the clickbait, rage bait sort of thing. But yes, the first ever gameplay trailer for the upcoming Batman Arkham Shadow appeared at Gamescom opening night live showcase tonight, giving us our first proper look at the upcoming VR take on the adventures of the most therapy-averse billionaire in history. The new trailer focuses on exploration, dialogue, and of course, plenty of fisticuffs, as the world's greatest detective whomps the living hell out of dozens of flunkies and underlings on his way to ensure that nothing ever really gets better in the bleak, crumbling metropolis of Gotham City. Quote, a corrupt system has failed you, the villainous Rat King. At least I assume that's the Rat King. Says at one point, are you not angry? Flash, fight back. The man has a point, right? If your life is an endless swamp of futility and hopelessness, and the best the people in power can offer is a sock in the chops from a guy dressed like a flying rat, well, I'd be a little angry about things too. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Batman Arkham Shadow developer Camouflage says it's reimagined the core Arkham experience for VR and was particularly inspired by the intricate and interconnected level design of Arkham Asylum. The new game is set between the events. Oh no, they're doing this sort of thing. Events of Arkham Origins and Arkham Asylum. Bro. Which I thought Arkham Origins is supposed to be. Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah, it was before. Yeah. And will feature Roger Craig Smith, the voice of Batman in Arkham Origins, in the title role. He didn't do such a bad job. Like he was certainly trying to mimic Kevin Conroy a bit, but kind of had his own thing going. He wasn't bad for the role. Alongside fellow Arkham veterans Troy Baker as Harvey Dent, Tara Strong as Harleen Quinzel, and Mark Rolston as James Gordon, and Martin Jarvis as Alfred Pennyworth. So Troy Baker isn't going to be doing another Joker voice. Oh, okay, good. Batman Arkham Shadow will push MetaQuest 3, oh boy, to its limits, giving players an up-close look at the Gotham City and delivering an Arkham experience that will resonate with longtime fans, Meta said in a press blurb. We're very excited about this one and can't wait to get it in your hands come October for the spooky season. Of course, most longtime fans of Arkham games won't get much out of this one, regardless of how good it ultimately proves to be. Being a VR game, a MetaQuest 3 exclusive at that, puts it beyond the reach of most gamers. For those packing Meta's latest and greatest VR rig, Batman Arkham Shadow looks like it might be pretty solid. But after nearly 10 years since the last proper Arkham game, that being Arkham Knight in 2015, oh no, he's not including Suicide Squad here. You can understand why Arkham fans as a whole might be a little disappointed. The release date for Arkham Shadow hasn't been set at this point, but it is slated to arrive in October. You know, you could have at least gone full bore and done a little more than those. You did a few extra shots, but you could have gotten a little more dedicated in the hate. Come on, man. Come on. Click.
I'm so. Are you? Oh, is it the trailer going?
I don't go. No, you. But you go ahead, dude.
Oh, I'm so tired of just crap Batman games after Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad kills whatever that's. Whoa.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad game.
I'm just the oversaturation, man. So I'm sure this game's gonna be crap. Does it have a trailer? I've not watched this.
I haven't watched it either. We can take a quick look at it. My main thing was just IGN being completely spastic and using the rate like it is. Yes, it was quite rage baity. They had those little extra jabs in there, but not as strong as that headline title. I was hoping for a little bit more.
I just really gone down the hole though.
This is PC Gamer.
Oh, I thought
I probably said IGN, but I meant PC Gamer here. IGN is trash too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could take a look at this really quick. Yeah, Batman Arkham Shadow official gameplay trailer 4 days ago. This is off the MetaQuest page. Let's take a peek.
This rat cult spreads through Gotham like a plague. I have to stop it, even if it consumes me.
The corrupt system has failed you. Are you not angry? Fight back!
It's the freaking bat! We aren't afraid of you! The bat dies tonight!
You know, for, was it 15 years? A VR game is not exactly what people are going to be hoping for when it comes to a Batman game.
Yeah.
Especially an Arkham Batman game. Like, you could have, I mean, this is, I'm going to guess this is very clearly going to be, they want to bank off of, I mean, that's obvious. They want to bank off of the Arkham name.
Jim, this Rat King could be anywhere. A face in the crowd, a foot soldier in his own fanatical mob. So how in the hell do we find him?
Targets are all city employees, civil servants, public officials.
You could have been more than a symbol. You could have been a god.
Look out!
If you don't calm down, someone's going to die.
Alfred, we tried it your way, now we do it mine.
Something big's going down tonight.
We repress our rage, our fears. It feeds the shadow deep inside us.
You're everything that's wrong with Gotham! I'm done holding back!
Oh, I saw this. Let me clip this out.
I can bring the Rat King to you.
I don't know. Like, some of it I'm kind of seeing is like, especially like with the, this guy, I'm guessing kind of the representation for kind of police and stuff like that, but in a negative light. I'm seeing that. Otherwise, I don't know. Like I said, it seems this isn't exactly where people want to go for a new Arkham game if they were to get one. This isn't the path, personally. No. Yeah. It does look bad. And I mean, I know it's VR and stuff like that, so they're limited to a certain degree in that regards. Because I mean, VR, while it's still a growing and something that's being worked on. And the fact that it's limited to the MetaQuest doesn't do. I mean, I know the MetaQuest is kind of like the premier headset, but it's certainly not going to have the potential to get like more of a backing because it's going to be limited to just the one piece of hardware. Right. And like it is, last I knew, if anybody wants to correct me, by all means, the MetaQuest still required you to have a Facebook account. And not everybody wants a Facebook account. I understand. So,
yeah,
you know, when it's still locked or something like that, and you can't use it on like PC or like it is, PlayStation has their VR headset. It's just it's very limiting in that regards.
I've
It
never tried
certainly
it out. I
won't.
probably never will. I just don't see. I just doesn't float my boat.
No, and I've said it that I need VR to get a little more further with it than what it's at currently. So yeah.
But as MetaQuest, yeah, like you said, it's only Facebook, so probably not. But even if it wasn't MetaQuest, like it looks like the game doesn't look good, and it gives. I mean, there's a point there where it reminded me kind of like Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
with,
of
like,
Arkham a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, we tried it your way, Alfred. Now we try mine. Like, are you killing people? Like, I don't ever kill. Like, you didn't. For the most part, he didn't kill. Like, I can't remember. There's a early story where he used a gun. I can't remember, but yeah, he doesn't.
I mean, the original comics had him, using a gun.
Yeah, but so it's like, are we killing people now? Like, you dude had him in the headlock, looked like he's gonna snap his neck.
And hello, Captain Keeley. How's it going? Saying good day, chat. Good night.
I think it's oversaturated, man. Like I said, Arkham Asylum, in my opinion, was probably the last good Batman game we had.
Oh, you didn't like Arkham City or Arkham Knight?
I don't know. It was with you. I think that's the one with Hugo Strange, Doctor Strange. It was Hugo.
Yeah,
Strange.
Arkham City.
So, I mean, it's all right. I preferred Arkham Asylum more, I think.
Me too. I think the level design was very well done. It helped with then like backtracking and everything a little more. Like Arkham City was definitely kind of that. They were kind of working towards that first step of open world, which I think was a good step. But it just, I mean, I think they all kind of fizzle out towards the end. Like they all kind of like really have some solid core, but like once they get kind of the end, it kind of fizzles a bit.
Yeah.
And Arkham Knight, its big downfall to me was a lot of the Riddler trophies that you had to get by using the Batmobile. Some of those were very awkward to try and like either solve the puzzle or something like that, to use the Batmobile while doing it. Felt like it was too gimmicked in, like they overly like tried to push in the vehicle. I understand maybe like a few puzzles here or there to use the car, but I don't think it should have been like a focus.
Right.
Because also like some of it is racing challenges and not everybody's too big on racing. So it does hamper you a little bit especially for people completing it.
Right.
But I might I've recently replayed Arkham Asylum. I still love that game. I'll have to probably do a playthrough of Arkham City and Knight. It's been I did one playthrough of Arkham Knight and then that was kind of it. I've at least played Arkham City multiple times as well. I've played Asylum more.
Oh yeah, I just don't think you beat Asylum.
I'm kind of inclined to agree, but that's certainly me. Right. But yeah, that's Arkham Shadow.
Save your money, don't get it.
I mean, you should save your money on the MetaQuest anyways. I think
it's
stupid expensive. But yeah.
I just don't like Facebook. Can you only get I guess you get them through the Facebook Marketplace? Like I don't know how it works. I don't know how the MetaQuest works.
Yeah, you have to get it through like the Facebook, whatever their app marketplace is. So, and last I knew, you had to be very careful if your account got banned or whatever. It could potentially brick your headset. But that they probably fixed that. Hopefully, I haven't heard about it in a while, so I don't know if anybody has been keeping up with what Facebook's been doing exactly with MetaQuest. So, yeah. Okay, to the chat. Brandon Trent said, at least for Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Sonic's sidekick Tails is played the original voice actress Colleen O'Shaughnessy. That was kind of the thing that got me with the Mario movie, was that they didn't use the original Mario voice actor. But I honestly I didn't think Chris Pratt did too bad of a job as Mario. I'll have to give it another watch. I only watched it the one time, and it was I had gotten it from old Jack Sparrow. So maybe if I get a newer copy from old Captain Jack, with better audio quality and stuff like that, I'll maybe have to readjust my opinion on it. I definitely did not like Jack Black as Bowser. I thought that was trash. Fuck that whole segment. It was weird. It was messed up. I don't like the idea that they've been going with of Bowser wanting to hump Princess Peach. It's gross. It's weird. Stop it. Stop it. Dan Blackroyd said, watch Monkey Magic instead of playing Black Myth. Much better. I will have to find that. I mean, I know it's like Sun Wukong. It's Journey to the West. So, find the original source material. It'll probably be better. Or watch Dragon Ball. It's partly based off of Journey to the West. But yeah, like I said, the rage bait and Brandon Trend, it's clickbait to trick people. But they had a little bit of extra, but they really needed to go harder. Come on, give us something here. Static says making this game VR is fully tarded, 100%. Brandon Trent said the creators of Arkham Shadows Camouflage is also made Iron Man game on MetaQuest 3. I didn't even know they had an Iron Man game on the MetaQuest 3. That's news to me. Brandon has also said if you don't want to play Arkham Shadows, then you can watch the Batman Arkham videos. His best videos YouTuber that does breakdowns and finding Riddler trophies. There are several Batman villains included in the trailer from the animated series. Tiger Guard, looks like Lockup, Arnold Wesker, aka the Ventriloquist. I saw the Ventriloquist, and Dr. Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow. I didn't particularly catch him. He in the group of nut jobs with
Jonathan Crane's Scarecrow.
No, I know. Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't sure if I didn't think I really saw him if he was in the little.
I didn't see him in here, unless I missed it.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I saw the ventriloquist because I saw he had the dummy in his hand. Let's see. Brandon also said Arkham City did a lot of great things like making Catwoman a playable character, introducing Hush and Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze as hardest boss, and playing as Robin in Harley Quinn's Revenge. Well, that was at least the thing when they allowed you to play as Catwoman. They didn't do. That was the thing that the stupid Spider-Man game didn't grasp. Actually, if you're gonna switch over to another character, make them at least a superhero type, which at least worked for Catwoman, and she could kind of do some of the similar things, though she still did things differently for traversing Arkham City. So, not make it plain Jane, Mary Jane, and not powered yet Miles Morales. So, but yeah, if you're gonna play like the Arkham games, yeah, I always say give them a go. At least, if anything, give Asylum a go. It'll be kind of a trip down memory lane too, because it's got a lot of the, if I remember right, it's got a lot of the voice cast from Batman the Animated Series, not just Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, but I believe others that filled the roles. And there's a lot of Easter eggs, great little Easter eggs and stuff like that, and just overall touching on Batman lore and everything while kind of maintaining its own separate separate continuity. So yeah, definitely fun. Definitely a fun series. You might be disappointed a bit by the third game.
Yeah.
But still fun. Still fun. Okay.
So mad.
What? What about?
Just how they just always come out with just trash games, man.
Boring and sad.
I hope I'm gonna be overusing that clip. I just know it. Oh, I don't know if I want to. All right, we'll finish off with this, and then we can get into Stargate.
Oh, let's go.
Oh boy, like I said, I this really scares me, especially I do love the Legacy of Kain series.
Oh no! Oh no! What are you doing?
I am doing it. I did grab it, so. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, so with the Gamescom thing, event, whatever, I'm already just gonna give it a downvote. Fuck you. Mainly also because it's IGN. But yeah, this is Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, The Dead Shall Rise. I don't trust this worth a damn, but we'll take a look at this and see how it. I already don't like the music. It sounds like shit. Already. Fuck you. Fuck you, game. Or whatever the hell you are, you little motion comic thing. I don't know how we've explored Nosgoth. In the original Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, you effectively explore Nosgoth as Kain, a newly formed vampire. You explore the ruins of Nosgoth in Soul Reaver. You get to explore Nosgoth through time travel in Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance. You've gotten to explore this world. It's not unseen territory, both destroyed and undestroyed. Okay, so basically this is Kain resurrecting and reviving the Seraph. Oh God, was it? No, now I'm going to forget what the hell they were. I wish Sheefster was in here. But he's resurrecting Raziel and his brothers to become his kind of lieutenants. Which that's the thing, like, the story has been filled in. This is unnecessary story that has already been filled in thanks to the games. Oh, it's a graphic novel. I thought it was like a motion comic or something. It sounds like shit. Not gonna lie. Those look kind of cool. 3-foot replica Soul Reaver. 3 foot. Huh. Buy my book. Buy my book. That's all I can think of right now. Is a Kickstarter campaign really?
That's hilarious.
Wait, is it?
Is it?
Well, they don't have. Okay, they don't have a link. Order now on Kickstarter. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Hang on. Oh my god. So wait, what is this? Legacy Kane Soul Reaver. That shall rise. Oh, I better sign out really quick. Oh, stupid thing. So yeah, they've got the Kickstarter campaign. They've already well exceeded their goal, which was 25,000, and they've at 987,336. 19 more days to go. So there is something I am not seeing though. So discover an untold story. So we basically got that synopsis. Delve into untold chapters of Raziel's life and undeath. Like I said, we basically found out all this information from Soul Reaver 2, basically Soul Reaver, but especially 2, and then finally finishing everything off with Defiance. Mobius Brothers, yada yada yada. I've got the standard hardcover edition. Okay, so this is like kind of worth all the extra merch. Like I said, won't lie, the masks and the 3-foot replica Soul Reaver. Ooh. But how much is that going for? Let's see. Oof. The Kane mask is 160. The Reaver replica 700, but that's like coming with the book. It's like, what if I just want it? Okay, so yeah, the Raziel's 160, Kane mask 160. Eesh. The Soul Reaver 400 bucks. Oh Jesus Christ! And then if you want one of the different color variants, those are like 750. 1,000 for the red one? What the fuck?
Dollars?
$1,000 dues. Fucking hell. Yeah, okay. I'm fine. I'm good. But yeah, so I'm looking for a particular name that I would think would be attached to something like this, but I am not seeing said name. Oh, there's the team. Let's go down to the team. Let's see. Writers Joshua Viola is a Colorado Book Award winner. Edited the Denver Post #1 best-selling horror anthology, Nightmares Unhinged. Okay. Angie Hodap Director of Literacy Development at Nelson Literary Agency. Narrative editor, Brent Friedman. Let's see. Friedman has more than 30 years of experience in entertainment across platforms, including League of Legends, Halo, Call of Duty, Walking Dead, Batman. Brent has worked on nearly all major U.S. studios. All right, fine, whatever. Oh, boy, yeah. Star Wars The Clone Wars. Oh, yeah, that's someone I'm going to trust now. Oh, yeah, because Star Wars Rebels and the cold NBC series. Oh, you know. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Let me even just Control F. Yeah. No Amy Hennig attached to this. That right there to me is a bit of a red flag. Because she was basically writer and supervisor of the Legacy of Kain games, even either shortly after. She certainly was there for Soul Reaver, but I believe was also there for Blood Omen 1. Can't say I'm too sold on the artwork myself. Looks But yeah, just basically giving you, I guess, more insight to the whole thing. You know what, that track that they were using was the one from Soul Reaver. Well, let me play the Soul Reaver intro, because Soul Reaver intro is fucking peak in my book. Like to me, it's one of the best video game intros out there. I know I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000 times over. It's just, I think, fantastic. I don't care if it's 3 minutes. But before we go into other things, here we go. Does this. I gotta say. Yeah.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, and burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead. Cast him in. tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Oh, I fucking love that. Sets everything up. It gives you some backstory on what's gone on between Blood Omen 1 and into Soul Reaver. Raziel is kind of giving you the history lesson. I mean, you already knew Kane was a dick from the first game, but now here he is going full on antagonist against your character that you're picking up, which is Raziel. He's brand spanking new. You don't know who he is, but you get a little bit of that flavor. Find out who he is. He surpassed Kane. Oh boy, did he ever. But it's just a hint to more things to come, more discovery. It's just to me just such a well told story, and especially to involve things like time travel, vampires, and shit like that. Good lord, I can never say too much good about this game. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic series. Yeah, if anybody that hasn't played it, and if you don't, I mean, it's still they're kind of clunky old games. You certainly find the story playthroughs on YouTube, and you can just watch and enjoy those because it's like watching an extended long movie. It's awesome.
Dun dun dun. I've never played these games.
Like I said, it's kind of tough. It's also kind of tough to get a hold of some of them, just because not all of them have been put out digitally. So
yeah, you still have all of them.
From a certain point of view. Okay. Let me just get to the chat really quick. Brandon Trent had said Arkham City did a lot of great things like making oh wait, we already went through that one. Brandon Trent said Arkham Knight has the best gameplay, even though you can also play as Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood. Weren't those the DLCs for that? Meteor this type of media sucks. I'm not a big fan of not always a big fan of graphic novels, but it works sometimes. But Dan Blacker said, "What did I start last week? The channel is now rebranding to exclusively Legacy of Kain content. We haven't gotten that far yet. As much as I love it, we are not rebranding. I got you hooked on the motion comics too. Nice. I haven't like it is with this. When I don't see Amy Hennig attached to it, I get very iffy. Meteor Advocate Simone says this makes me want to play the games again. I want to fire up the hard drive and put back on some of those. Watch through them again. Dan Blackberry said I watched the Defiance cinematics on YouTube this week. Completely forgot about that ending. Right? It was such an open fucking ending. But like I said when we were talking about it last, we've lost Tony J. We've lost Renee. Oh God, he has such a crazy last name. But the voice actor for Janos, I can't see them being ever replaced. And even Amy Hennig and company were like, at the time they'd lost Tony J, they're like, and he was there from the start playing Mortinius, I believe. He was, I believe, the Necromancer. No, wait. No, I think I'm getting names mixed up. Hang on. Let's see. Blood Omen. Okay, I was right. It was Mortanius. Okay. But yeah, I mean, somebody that was there from the start. Sorry, my headphones are about to die, and I got to plug things back in. The only problem when you got to charge things. Oh, wrong cord. Okay, sorry about that. Sure, I got these things charged so I can hear everything. There we go. And yeah, too much Red Bull. Kane ripped his way. He's like, you don't get to have your wings. Denied your wings. Okay. I believe it's that time.
Stargate. Are we doing? Is Bane this episode?
Bane is this episode.
That's right. Such a weird episode.
It really is. All right. For anybody that hasn't been here for this, we will be switching over. And if you want, you can join us on the other platforms. But you can join us on Kick, Rumble, or Odyssey for as we watch Stargate SG-1 Season 2, Episode 10, Bane, where we get to see Teal'c get nabbed by a bug and potentially transformed into a bug. Will he? Won't he? Who knows? We'll see. But anybody that wants to join us over there, you are more than welcome. If not, I get it. That's cool. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out with us as long as you have. And I'll just say a big thanks to everybody here so far. Dan Blackroyd, Meteor Advocate Timon, Static 2020, Brandon Tran, Captain Keeley. We had Melissa Lord in earlier, Nerdy Neo. Let's see. Joseph Ricci. Sorry you left early, dude. Else have we got? I know we had more. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, and Meteor Advocate Timon. To Kick I Go, he says. Awesome. He'll be over there. Fear of FEMA, Star Wars Scran. Thank you all for being here when you were. And I believe that's everybody. So again, jump on over. Yeah. Timon is already on the Kick side. We're grown Kick at 42 followers so far. We're getting up there, boyo. Getting up there. So yeah, we will thank you all. I'll be playing us out to do the switch over. And yeah, catch you on the other side.